right of first selection, which is not actually, it's not the acronym, but it's what we came up with yesterday. Were you watching yesterday, Daniel?
I was watching, yeah.
Oh, wow, you were. So you do care about the LCK at least enough to watch a little bit yesterday.
I was watching, and then I got called out, and I was like, oh, man, I had to get it in just in time.
Yeah, I really wanted to, like, throw you under the bus during the broadcast, but you actually did get the predictions in just in time. Just to catch everyone up, there's actually a retweet of a brilliant video on my Twitter that the LCK made of all the shenanigans that happened yesterday. Yesterday was a weird day.
Yeah.
But Daniel Ox Harrison was a bit late with his predictions.
It's because my day off was Wednesday, and so I just, in my mind, I was
you
like,
were weekending.
Yes, my first day was Thursday, so I just didn't think about any of the stuff we do. I was like, I always leave it late.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do it the day before I go back to work, but that was yesterday.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is the day that work starts, regardless of whether you're there or not.
It was just poor planning, poor decision making.
Thankfully, we did get the reminder out, and you got in there just not in time for the actual graphic. Which is just a little bit sad. We're having a look. There are some of the bans coming on through here, as we do see Jace and Malphite do get banned away. Jace with 1 victory out of the 2 games that he has played, and Malphite with no victories just yet. Still on the ban list, though, as the Rumble, I think, has been the most dangerous out of these bannable champs. And this time around, we've got Azir and Orianna both left up and available. Zeka is likely to pick the Azir. Roma, I hope, doesn't pick Orianna, because that left a little to be desired. But the Pantheon first pick, I think, is a pretty dangerous one that Gideon locks away here, and I think just quietly has become the most coveted jungler on the patch.
I think suggesting as well that if Azir is picked up by HLE, it'll be Pantheon Talia.
Yeah, true.
We often see the Talia into the Azir. In terms of jungle picks, the Vi, a potential option that could be taken by HLE, but with the Pantheon already secured, no huge pressure to take jungler right now. Nico also something that has been let through to support with the highest BAM presence so far. So we'll see if that gets a look in. Obviously, Delight very favored on these engage supports, so could have a look towards that.
Yep. Will Kanavi be locking away a pick for himself, or will it be something else? Is Gumayushi, his world-famous Varus, going to be locked away? We'll be able to check out his cool skin that he got last year. That's a little bit of fun. There is the Orianna that was the expected trade. I did kind of like your line of thinking there, Ox, as yesterday, even if the Talia Pantheon didn't win a whole lot of games, it was still very potent in the early stages, as Teddy locks away Jhin, which makes me not feel very good at all. But I guess, you know, you can do stuff from long range. You can follow up from a Pantheon engage as well. I mean, there are a lot of options that you can go with there. I just don't feel like Jhin does very much.
I think as well, part of it is a lane matchup into Varus. As soon as a Varus is put down, it immediately puts this pressure that you have to pick something that can lane into it.
True.
There's a lot of picks that you just get bullied out. But it really sets up for this Jarvan pick that comes through, because now you have an immobile AD carry and an immobile mid laner. So the Cataclysm value, if anyone's flashed us, they are just trapped inside that. And I love the Bard ban that comes through, because it just denies that stasis that obviously buys so much time in the Cataclysm. Alistair going to get banned away from Delight. I think that's generally a pretty valid pick. Nico still open and available, though, hasn't gotten a look in yet, so maybe that comes through as a ban.
And with the Alistair and the Bard both being banned away, 2 of the champions that would be played into the Nico, if it does actually get left through, I think that there is a lot of Nico ban pressure that is being thrown out, and it is going to be HLE that falls for it. And so they will be taking that one away. Now, final ban to come on through here for the Bros before we get into HLE going for their B4. And it will be Nautilus taken off the table. So we could have like a Rel here for Delight, something like that. We'll have to see exactly where he does want to go. Maybe it is going to be saving his pick for last, as Sport Counterpick has been very, very popular here on this patch with how important it is to win that 2v2. But instead, it's going to be his very famous, potentially very famous Rakan.
Yeah, those
instead, cycling through a bunch of stuff.
Those are the 3 options. I think if you go Rakan here, then you aren't really too worried about them going something like a Braum. That being said, Braum Jin's not like the strongest combo. Slow auto attack's not the quickest to stack it. But I think there's not a huge amount of threat for Rakan. There are some games, like if it had been the Pantheon Talia, there is that Unraveled Earth threat on the Rakan, but this feels like a pretty game. And actually, this has ended up being a flex of the Pantheon and bringing out the Nocturne instead. So, bit of a clever game here from the Bros. Now have that Nocturne Orianna combo. and then running the Pantheon support. So a lot of bans were thrown towards the support, and Bro, like, we already have ours in the bag.
I can't remember. Do you think Zeus is good at Kennen?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy to take those range tops. So I think that'll probably just be the expected pickup here, especially with a Rakan and a Jarvan. You have the setup.
All right, decides to go for the prehistoric version.
Yeah, but a range top that does well in the Renekton, pretty confident with that.
Yeah, that's... Blind picking Renekton into Zeus is so illegal. I just feel like there's like a list of things that you're not allowed to do in the LCK, and that's very high up there.
Yeah, I also feel like the Gnar with the Jarvan. I remember this was when Gnar first came on the scene, such a strong combo, because you get that extra terrain to slam them into. A lot of terrain actually with the Azir and the Jarvan thrown about. And, you know, sometimes you see a flex and you're like, hey, you know, that's an interesting flex, but how much are you actually necessarily gaining on the back of this? Because they obviously get the Nocturne Orianna combo, but they could have just done that in the earlier portion of the draft. And the Pantheon support that comes out, you know, we've seen it have a lot of early damage, and you have that obviously that survivability with the Aegis that comes out, but it can really struggle later on, especially if it doesn't snowball. And the value that Rakan has in the 5v5 is way higher.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I actually think that there's going to be a whole lot of fighting, and the team fights are going to look really cool between both of these squads. We'll see whether the bros can actually get this Orianna Nocturne combination to actually work out. We've seen some teams struggle a little bit with it, but when it does work, man, it looks good. We've got Zeus's Gnar skin, though, as well as Gumayusi's Varus skin, which is pretty dope. The fact that both of our T1 players on HLE are representing their own outfits. Let's get into it. Game 1. All right, bro fans, very loud here in LoL Park today, which is absolutely fantastic. And let's see where the first battle lines are going to get drawn. I'm excited to see whether, you know, Namgung is actually going to carry on from a little bit of a improved performance from his very first game. Wasn't looking all that hot when he first came out. So here we go, having a look at Zeus with those very cool glasses on his Gnar skin.
Yeah, one thing with this bot lane duo of the Jhin and the Pantheon, the execute damage with fourth shot from the Jhin and the execute that the Pantheon gets on his Q, combined with the ignite into like a squishier support like Rakan is really threatening. So Guma's got the teleport as well. You do have more sustain with the fact that the Rakan has sustain. You do have a good amount of poke, but you are definitely not wanting to go into any all-ins against the bro bot lane here. Just poke, prod them down, keep yourselves healthy. But if you overcommit, you could really easily just get exploded in this 2v2, so you've got to be careful. You can see a lot of respect given here already.
I think they have to. I think as well, try to utilize Gleaming Quill value, right? Go for very short trades. Try and, like you say, get that poke down, and then utilize the extra sustain that you will have available to you. Kanavi, full clear of the bottom side. Same thing to be said for the top side of the map here for Gideon, as they will be finishing up on opposite sides of the map. Just have to see what our junglers do have in mind for their very first moves.
So interestingly, Teddy actually went Cosmic Insight instead of Cashback. So all the 80 carries have been running Triple Tonic and Cashback. And the reason Cashback has been so popular is it did get buffed last year, but also now you get 6 items. It's so much value. By going Cosmic Insight instead, you get the lower Summoner cooldown, but it means you're just losing a lot of money over the course of the game. Like, by the time you get to like 4 items, that's, you know, 1,000 gold just gone in comparison to your lane opponent. So definitely something that will add up over the course of the game.
We'll see exactly how he's going to be able to utilize this, as Delight does have to battle dance his way away. And Gumayusi with some Blight stacked up. Namgung is looking a little worse for wear, but they'll be okay. This is exactly what we were talking about, right? If HLE can continue to just do little trades like this, then things should be all right. This casting here towards the top side avoids the boomerang quite nicely there, but we know that this Gnar matchup is just not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and especially it's one of those matchups where it's not like, okay, it's a little uncomfortable early, but you can just deal with it until later, because eventually in the side lane, the Gnar will just run you down. It doesn't get more fun. There are windows for the Renekton to find all in if the Gnar misplays, especially once the Renekton gets his ultimate, but for the time being, it is just going to be punishing. Not hasn't been doing so hard, but
No.
Zeus definitely the player that you are looking to maybe break that unlucky streak, even though he's part of it so far.
Yeah. We did see the Gnar blind pick yesterday, which really didn't help. That was one of the more strange draft decisions that we have seen so far here in the LCK Cup. But this was definitely more of the counter pick option. And Zeus, certainly a pretty good one to pilot it, as this was the champion that he debuted on all those years ago. And he won that game. He did look pretty good on the champ as well. So since then, has just continued to do a fair bit of winning. As you guys know, the history of these Tier 1 players has been a fair bit of success, as it turns out. That's all right. Namgung goes in. It's a decent deadly flourish there from Teddy, who was reloading for the majority of that little exchange.
Yeah,
one of those issues.
Resets have come in, and I feel like that's the window once you have the reset where the Brawl bot lane is going to feel confident. You know, when everyone's healthy again. It's like attrition for HLE's bot lane, and just looking for the burst from the Bro bot lane. Nice dodge in the Gleaming Quill. That ability heals so much ever since they buffed it.
Yeah.
It was a while ago now, but it feels like you're playing against Soraka when you're trying to dodge your Qs, and each one that lands, you're like, okay, well, that's just undone a trade. I mean, look how much that value just got there from Delight connecting it.
Yeah, it's kind of ludicrous. The one good thing here for the Bros is that they just do a lot of damage quite quickly. So you were talking about the executes and things like this, the ignite that Namgung does have. If they do actually go for an all-in, if Gideon does finally get towards Paranoia and makes his way towards that bottom side, I think it's still going to be very dangerous here for Gumayusi and Delight, especially when Guma doesn't have a massive amount of peel. If Zeka isn't in the area, for example, or if Zeus doesn't have Mega. Gideon, though, is going to be starting off this Dragon, as Deadly Flourish can hold Delight in position there, as Roma possibly in trouble. Yeah, he's incredibly low. The knockup does come on through max range from Kanavi, but Gideon makes his way over. Roma is out of this fight, though. No mana, no health. And that means that this Dragon is going to be left alone.
Yeah, it just felt like such a risky start on this Dragon. It's like assuming that the enemy team just isn't going to act on it, isn't going to challenge you, when Roma is so low in terms of health. They gave a free window. And in fairness, you did end up trading up and stuff. Oh, Kanavi in trouble now.
Yeah, Dominus is going to get procced here by casting. Slices, dices as Kanavi is looking to hold on to him, but he might just die. The flash does actually get used, but unfortunately does not work out. And Gideon doesn't get the vision required, or doesn't decide to go for the Paranoia. I'm not quite sure whether he was in range either. Level 6 is deceptively low as far as the range is concerned, but still doesn't pull the trigger. And we see no one going down just yet. Flashes for both top laners, though, now on cooldown, and Kanavi also does not have his.
Yeah, it's good peel from Zeus, and I feel like you're feeling so bad about that as Bro. The fact that Gideon committed the ult to try and make that play work. Zeus, oh no.
Yeah, he's hopped over the wall.
Okay, he's fine.
But casting is just going to wander his way out. Zeka was going for the Emperor's Divide and does use it, but wanted to get behind Roma there. Decides instead he'll just use it for a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah, he got the flash though from Roma, so still happy. And a lot is being extended. We kind of had, you know, the lanes were played out very slowly, not much happened, and then suddenly we get this rapid fire action. We got 2 flashes from the side of Bro, both solo laners burning theirs. Zeus burns his. Obviously, Kanavi's went down around that bot side fight with the Dragon. So now the question is who gets to capitalize on these summoners not being available. I will say something for the Bros. They have a lot of global pressure with that Nocturne ultimate and the Pantheon as well. So I think that's a point they can really look to leverage.
Yep.
And try and find numbers advantages on the back of that.
And they can use Curtain Call as well from very far away, so it's likely that they will be able to get some follow-up on sort of anything that is going to happen here. Kanavi standing on a ward, so Roma does know exactly what's going on. So far, 0-0-0 for the Orianna, and very even on farm. So even though that flash is on cooldown, he is still being able to last hit the minions and feel all right with himself. So definitely a little bit of a turnaround here as far as the comparison to his performance on the Orianna against Showmaker last week.
I remember the Orianna into Showmaker also started off with a burnt flash.
Yeah.
It is into Azir though, not a LeBlanc, so hopefully will pan out a little bit better. But it really depends on whether Kanavi opts to show up mid and how Roma plays out the lane position. If you are playing close to tower, it's going to be hard to really punish, but when those cooldowns are available, it gets a little spooky.
Well, casting just going to be slicing and dicing around the wave. Pick that one up. Gideon should be able to grab these last remaining grubs. First one did go over to Kanavi, though. Decides that he doesn't really want to fight for too much more. Zeus almost takes a second one there for HLE. But not going to be the case. Yeah, very close. As that is going to be 2-1 as far as those grubs are concerned. But still a 600 gold lead for HLE. The game very even.
I feel like we've seen a lot more of these early games where it's just a bit slower until a big fight happens and that kind of opens up the game.
Yeah.
I think with home guards as well, it's really harder to punish too heavily. You know, if you force it back, or even if you do kill someone, quite quick to get back to lane. Now, I feel like they are setting up potentially for Roma. Roma's playing very defensively, as he should be.
Yeah, I feel like he's learned from what happened earlier on. Slow and steady wins the race. And, you know, maybe that is not the way that he plays things out in solo queue, which I think I could understand. But just going to get some vision down. First streak still hasn't been taken here at 9.5 minutes. So certainly going to be emphasizing that much longer game that we are having right now, or slower, I should say. 500 gold, though, still the lead here for HLE, and I think they're very happy to play a slower game with the composition that they have. Is Roma going to get picked up, shoved back, and destroyed here? As in goes Delight. That is first blood going over to Zeka, as he's now looking to try and escape. Gideon wants to get on top of him and does manage to help Namgun get the kill. Dustbringer comes on through. Gideon is just going to get out of there. So a 1-for-1 as both mid laners hit the dust, but it is going to be first blood advantage over to Zeka there on his Azir. Casting now, looking for an angle. Zeus just wants to kite this crocodile around the rift and does manage to get the punish there. Boomerang also going to be pretty dangerous, as it does proc the hyper as well.
I think ultimately you can't be too unhappy with that situation from the side of Bros, right? Even though the first blood goes to HLE, the fact that Roma was without flash, you knew that play was coming, you kind of expected this. You're able to respond and trade it back, so, you know, Roma's just very dead in this scenario. That's inevitable, but the fact you get an answer back, despite the fact that Zeka did have flash, you know, you're okay with it. Unfortunately, the kill did end up going over to the Pantheon, but of all the supports to have, Pantheon, I'd say one of the champions who can do a bit better with gold compared to others, so... Yeah.
Roma is now going to get flashed on. There's a knock-up, and I think he's just dead again. Zeka just collects another one.
Look how close it is.
Beautifully calculated there by HLE is what I'd like to assume.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. That one just feels like a freebie.
Yep.
Now you're not feeling so good. And HLE putting the pressure down.
Chains of Corruption does go wide. Miushi unfortunately not able to hit that one. And HLE... They will be able to get a plate here in this mid lane, as Roma is still dead for another 5 seconds, doesn't have teleport, so it could be actually a lot missing here from the mid laner. So once again, 1,000 gold almost the lead here for Zeka in that isolated 1v1 against Roma. And they're going to translate that into a dragon as well. HLE really starting off, putting together a big advantage as casting here on this top side of the map, trying to channel the Lord's Renekton as best he can. And it's a struggle.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Yeah, and Morgan, let's be fair, did have some rough times as well.
I feel like it was just Roma being baited in by the fact that he knew these big cooldowns weren't available, and his flash was nearly back up, because you saw how defensive he was playing without his flash being down. And then you look at that clip, and it's like, okay, this is crazy. Yeah, bit of an overstep, immediately punished. Good gank there by Delight to punish. Ooh. And now HLE with a pretty sizable lead, 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, 12 minutes, that's actually a big deal.
Yeah. And look where the gold is as well. You know, there's a good spread between all 3 laners.
Yeah.
Exactly where you wanted to be.
Carries with money. And Namgung, he's the one that did manage to pick up that kill from earlier on. And so there's a reason why he is slightly ahead. But Delight helping out with both of the kills so far has meant that he is able to keep up completely. Zeus now underneath this turret as the Mega Gnar, and will be able to take another plate by the looks of things. Yeah, that's very comfortably going to go over his way. So even more money into the coffers of HLE. As a possible fight here is Delight going down relatively low. Roma looks for a bit of an angle here, holds on to the shockwave, and there it is! Gets thrown out, delivered by the Nocturne, as now Kanavi going to have to flag and drag his way out of there. As Control Ward does go into that brush, casting continues to be in trouble as Teddy looking for Guma. There's the knock-up. Sorry, the stun potential on to Guma, but does just flash the wall, gets out of the way. I'm going no joy for him.
You know what's really tragic is that Delight's support quest, he actually got over the gold threshold, but you can't level it up while you're in combat. So he clearly got the gold he needed to get it over the 800 threshold, but because he didn't have the Celestial opposition there, it was so squishy.
Oh yeah, true.
And you saw how he just kind of got exploded there. Now does have the Celestial opposition, and if that same play had happened again, he would be a lot harder to kill. But you see going in here, to be fair, looking at this play, it would have just got procced by that phase Q. He would have just died anyway,
yeah.
in hindsight.
And there was probably a bit of overkill there as well, as the Shockwave did what looked to be about 50 damage.
You know, I was running the Delight defense. Celestial opposition ain't saving you there, buddy.
However, you know, still a valid point and something that people can think about for the future.
Well, he has it now, so there you go.
Yeah. Zeus also going to be throwing out an ulti towards casting here as the boulder does go wide. But there is the knockup from the grand entrance. Delight just going to walk it off here as Kanavi wants to make his way in. Namgung is in position though, and Gideon off to the side. So I think this 3v3 should be enough to dissuade any potential dive. As we'll just have to see, because it looks like HLE is still keen for something. The health bars are relatively low, and this turret is also. Teleports come forward from Roma, who wants to be able to save this as they do get rid of the minions. As Namgung, decent little Aegis.
But these sorts of plays feel so bad because Zeka's on the other side of the map. He's just going to be able to push down and get some plates on this tower. You're not actually saving the tower in the long term. You're just stalling it. Like, this tower is not going to survive forever. Look how low it is.
I mean, it's probably down on this wave, right? Yes, I mean, he only has Roma to deal with. Decides not to push it forward, but I think
they're going to go for the Herald. But the thing is, everyone was so low, you're still giving a pressure on that side of the map. The teleport isn't allowing you to make a counterplay. It's just stalling their play out. That being said, they are now back on the map and looking to contest this Herald, so...
Yeah, walking up now. Kanavi takes the long way round. Does have to flag and drag to get himself to relative safety. Now gets back over the wall as they look for the smite fight, but there is the combo! Blast Cone does come on through there, but Guma nowhere to go from that, and the Rift Herald, it actually reset. And so the bros don't actually lose anything out of the play. They just blow up the Varus and get on with their day.
Yeah, catch Gumayushi without flash, and that's the power of that Nocturne Orianna combo. And now HLE, no real way you can fight this. Everyone's healthy again. Everyone got a chance to reset. So maybe the TP value coming in there, giving them some time to get back on the map.
Oh, Kanavi just steals it away. Looks to get in there to try and grab the eye, but he will just be dying for it. Zeka trying to get on over. Finds one with the Emperor's Divide and then just finds the Death Chamber. Now the curtains have been called. Delight does collect Shelly. So the two sacrificed for one Rift Herald is going to be thrown down immediately here as Gumayushi is going to usher her towards this outer turret in mid. But you can see it in the gold, the bros actually being able to pull this back quite considerably. Oh, stun does come on through here as Namgung's back one more time. Oh dear. Gumayushi got a little bit of practice going into the Death Chamber just recently, and he is going to do it once again.
This game has started to turn extremely chaotic.
I like it. I feel like the LCK Cup this year has been a lot of this.
Wait, I think every single member of Bro flashed here. So we have this combo that comes in, and they can obviously just kill Guma. But then in this ensuing play, so all 5 flashes are up. I'm going to try and see if we can count them.
All right.
So this play comes out.
First flash.
Yeah, there's 1. And then the shuffle comes in. There's 3.
Yeah.
That's 5. So
oh my god, everyone.
Member of Bro flashed in that play. Yeah, wow.
And so I said it wrong. So Zeka went in and he found one person with the Emperor's Divide. However, he did find every flash that was still left up.
That's some crazy summoner economy right there. Fortunately, the Bros did pick up the Dragon, so they don't have to worry about... They will have their flashes back for the next one, but it does mean there is a period of time where they are without those summoners.
I really like this quote here from chat. Bro flashes together.
Yes!
Chad.
You know what?
Just gorgeous.
They're a new roster, right? We needed to see some synergy. That was synergy.
Yep.
Right? That was synergy right there.
The camaraderie is just still looking beautiful. As blue buff going to be stolen away here by HLE. Comfortably so. Gumayushi is going to be gathering that one as Teddy is going to collect a red. And we'll be back about our business. But 1.7k here at 18 minutes into the game doesn't feel as dire as the 1.2 at 12.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down. And you look at the goal differences. Zeus is ahead, right? The Snar is going to be a bit of a menace in the side lane. But, you know, mid lane, there's a bit of a lead. 80 carries. Teddy's ahead, despite the fact he doesn't have cash back. So, you know, this isn't honestly earned gold equivalence, right?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And 2 items complete, Ghostblade and the Rapid Fire Cannon. This is not a 2-item spike. I feel like this is like the 2-item sadness, because these two don't necessarily, like it's good utility, right? And you get the extra range, movement speed, blah, blah, blah. It's good, but Infinity Edge feels absolutely incredible after these items have been put together. So it does kind of need those. And then Armor Pen,
Yeah, so it's a little bit...
more like a 4-item thing. Maybe Cashback would have been a good idea.
Cashback is pretty good.
Well, Roma, let's see whether he is going to keep himself alive as Zeka breaks the arm guard. Roma now inside the Cataclysm. Emperor's Divide just to get rid of the Nocturne, and down he will go. Casting dives in though, and they are able to answer it with a kill onto Zeka as Zeus gets the flank angle. They find the knock up there. Chains of Corruption connects on towards this Pantheon, who is not long for the world. He'll get taken down here as Gumayusi just keeps casting at arm's length. Delight wants to do the same, but they do kite him out and take down the Croc. And it's all in exchange for just Zeka.
You know, I feel like the lack of flashes definitely played into that fight there. The Cataclysm value, just knowing whoever you press ult on, not able to use it. Roma's is actually back up already because he has the upgraded Ionians, but Bro opted into a fight. The gold deficit wasn't that big, but I think the summoner economy didn't help them out too much there. And I think having the stasis already for Zeka, he ends up being the focus point, but not able to immediately punish him. Buys a lot of time here. The shockwave doesn't immediately kill him. He gets the shuffle off onto Gideon, who then dies. And Zeka just forces so many cooldowns here. You know, it's a 1-for-1 between the mid laners, and then the jungler dies as well, sorry. So 2-for-1 at the start of this fight, and then the Pantheon's not doing much, and Casting is just kind of left in the middle of 4.
Yeah, almost manages to kill Delight, gets his flash, but is ultimately not able to get too much done, and Teddy just had to vacate the area. Nothing the Jhin could really do in that moment. And so now it is just advantages everywhere as they look to try and kill Gumayusi one more time, but the Deadly Flourish, it goes wide. Cataclysm from Kanavi just to buy some space as the Dancing Grenade just going to be enough to help take down a cannon. And HLE, good defense, not able to actually take down the Varus this time.
Yeah, Guma getting the ult down there was absolutely huge. I do think a little bit hard to chase him under the tower there. Guma's positioning was really good, but also if Gideon spell shields the ultimate, you feel really bad about it. But whenever you're without flash in a game like this, as the Varus, you're always really in an uncomfortable spot. And the fact, whenever he's able to survive an assault like that, without that summoner, you're feeling good.
Yeah. Gonna have that one up relatively soon, still a couple of minutes away. Teddy still hasn't died. 2-0 and 3 on this Jhin, but still not exactly looking fantastic. Looks like it is going to be Lord Doms coming in as the third item. And so it's going to be a while before those crits are really feeling good with the Infinity Edge that is going to be relegated to 4th. And I don't even know whether we're going to get there. It's a 5,000 gold lead here for HLE. It's a Cloud Soul this game as well. Absolutely love it. We had Ocean like 3 times in a row yesterday at the beginning. Yep. I'm hoping that now we get Cloud 3 times in a row today. That is feels only fair. You know, you get one of the most boring ones, and then you get the best one ever.
Yeah. You see Bro trying to set up here, but I'll be trying to zone them away. They do now have all their flashes back up together, you know? They have that synergy going for them.
By the way, we need someone else to like get a kill in this game because I imagine the kids in chat are kind of losing their minds right now on the scoreline. So we just need to really change that so that we can focus one more time.
Oh, you have to bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah, well, look, sometimes you got to address the elephant in the room. Hey, there's an elephant, okay?
They're trying to set up for Guma. Oh, they blue trinket him.
Yeah.
They lose vision.
There's Paranoia. They do throw down the shockwave, but Guma actually gets thrown in a safe direction. Namgun goes in there. Finally, we're safe from the 6-7, but that is going to be 2 kills going over to HLE to start this one off. The Bros are able to answer it, though. That's a great knock-up as Kanavi is on the warpath. Takes down Roma. They do finally manage to kill Zeus. So it's a 3-for-2 in the end, but it should mean that this Dragon goes over to HLE.
I think keeping Guma alive without flash is a near impossible task against this Bro composition. but HLE are making them pay for it when they go for these engages. The fact he's able to survive the initial assault, and then Namgoon comes flying in to finish him off, is immediately charmed and ends up dying as well. Oh, Zeka does have flash and ult, and he's a Zir, so he's completely fine.
He did the old shifting of the sands.
Yeah, so we see they throw down the blue trinket, and they dive in on Guma, and he does manage to get the ult off as well to root up the Nocturne and get some space. And then the Pantheon flies in, is immediately charmed, but flashes in and ignites him, and that will take him out. But that's 2 members down to take out the Varus. Zeus does end up going down. He was buying time on the backline. But it's just so many members traded to take down this Varus that it just ends up not being completely worth it for Bro, and they can't finish out the fight. So just great peel, I feel like, from the bot lane of HLE, the self-peel from Guma, and Delight also keeping the Pantheon as far away from his AD carry as he can.
Oh, Delight does manage to cleanse that one off, thanks to the unsealed spellbook, so is not going to be taken down here. Teddy, though, does have Mortal Reminder now completed, so going to start doing a bit of damage here in this game, especially as armor does start to get stacked up. And sort of just naturally from levels, especially at this stage of the game, it is going to be very valuable to have some pen in the build. So no worries there, but does really want the Infinity Edge if he wants to be doing any damage at all in this game. Duskbringer connects onto Kanavi, but nothing too much else going to come of it. And so HLE with a massive amount of control. You know, 5.6k is a very large gold advantage. They've got a couple of Drakes set up, not exactly with Soul Point just yet. 3.5 minutes, and they might be able to just use the map control they have in order to lock that one down. Yeah. And if they do go for a slow and steady game, it should just very comfortably go in HLE's hands. The thing is, they have been a little fast and loose with some of their decision-making, especially last week. So we're hoping they can get it together this time around, just play a cool, calm, and collected game. Maybe channel some of what we saw from DRX, perhaps, in their first game yesterday. Which was just some beautiful macro play and controlling the Rift where they can. This is a game that is certainly open to a play like that. Zeus is going to face check a Renekton and does try and hop his way out of there. Breaks the Fear Tether as Deadly Flourish is going to go wide, so that is no assist going over to Teddy. A lot invested, though, as now the Baron is going to get started.
I mean, they have decent DPS from the Azir, but Varus isn't the fastest at doing it, and Baron takes so long, so I think, yeah, they're backing away. Don't have the time to do it, and honestly, that whole time you were talking about the slow and steady macro play, and I saw Zeus walking up to that brush, I'm like, this is on you, Max.
Yeah.
He's setting that up.
I mean, sometimes you've just got to go with where the comedic timing takes you, you know? And that's sort of where we were there, because we all knew he was going to do it.
Yeah. The fact it was prompted as well with the vision toggle before that, kind of setting up the spook, and then it happened there, you know, the spookiness came through.
Jonah Strong just knew. All right, Casting going to be taking some Crystalline Overgrowth here towards the bottom side of the map. I think that he should be able to pretty comfortably take this turret down on the next wave that is conga lining its way forward. It's going to get there, won't even need to walk away from the turret. As we do see Kanavi starting this one off, but that ward gets all the value that the Bros require. They throw down another one just to make sure they know exactly what this health bar is looking like, and Paranoia has been available as in goes Namgoon. That is going to be the steal from Gideon as well. Highway robbery as he is going to get taken down. 2 dead, but they do steal the Baron, so they keep their base alive most likely. HLE looking a bit worse for wear, but they do keep everyone alive. And despite losing the Baron, this is something you've spoken about a lot, Ox. If they're able to then translate the man advantage into structures, then they could still find a big lead, as you can already see the Rebel Baron power play minus 200.
Yeah, I think XP probably the main thing that Bro are going to be happy about from this, from getting the Baron. They'll get a big chunk of XP, and you do get comeback XP now from securing the Baron. Though to be fair, they went that far behind in terms of levels, so I'm not sure if they'll benefited from that overall. But yeah, the gold isn't that significant, but I think denying the Baron buff from HLE, definitely the main thing out of this. Gideon flies in, manages to secure it.
Shockwave looking real good there as well.
Yeah, unfortunately that 4th shot from Teddy doesn't connect onto Kanavi. Maybe could have got the kill there.
All right, check it out from Gideon's perspective here. Just sails in, looks pretty excited and tells everyone to get the heck out of there. Yep, back. Good.
Yeah, I mean, already it's a negative Red Bull Baron power play off the back of those 2 kills. Just shows that the gold just really isn't there anymore from this objective.
Yeah, still, like you say, defending, the fact that there could have been a Baron play for HLE, that's certainly a good thing. Is Casting also able to take some plates here and going to be able to even out that Rebel Baron power play quite comfortably. As Kanavi now moving over towards this Cloud Dragon.
Hey, it's
got to take that one down. Hey, there we go. Plus 600. No worries. Casting takes down the turret. And good use of the Baron. There we go. But still, Soul Point goes over to HLE. And Cloud Soul for all of these champions is... That's scary. You won't be able to get on top of Gumayusi anymore. He just throws out Chains of Corruption, locks someone down, and then sprints away.
That's the thing, the fear from the Nocturne. Like, he just runs. Like, he ults and he just runs out of the tether as well.
Yeah, you would. Doesn't feel very good. And even if he does get the fear off, then he's still sprinting. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, Delight just looking to try and get vision down where he can. And they do have a decent amount of it. But the Bros, I think, have bought a fair bit of time. So I think it's the next fight going to be an honest one. Is okay, they look to try and lock down Zeus. Deadly Flourish is going to hold him in position as he will die. And now Kanavi is in a very awkward spot. Does have to flash, but the Ruthless Predator is there and casting. Man, that ability name is correct with how dangerous this guy is. But the Sand Soldier comes out from Zeka, and he's able to punish this support Pantheon. And he does get stunned up, but Teddy not with too much of a follow-up as now Kanavi. Oh my, of course he is. And there he goes, diving on forward. That is going to be the flash out though of the Cataclysm. Deadly Flourish, not quite as deadly as it really wanted to be as it misses. And Kanavi, just continuing to go in. It's Kama Kanavi, man.
He's such a psychopath.
He goes in again.
Chill out for a second.
Please just go home for a bit, man. I know you've got a GA, but like, come on. All right.
He wants to put it to use, so that's the only thing I can get from this.
You only get value if it's on cooldown, okay? All right, that's a very deep teleport. All right, in goes Delight. Let's see whether Zeka and Kanavi can actually get here in time as Gideon baited by the blue buff. He is going to be able to secure it there, but down he will go. Gumayusi going to lock up the Nocturne.
Yeah, not too much they can really get for the Nocturne being dead, but they should be able to look to push here. The mid tower has some overgrowth built up on it. Problem is, they don't have the Baron buff, and the Orianna should just be able to clear the waves out. We'll see, though. Maybe they can look to threaten her off the turret. Quickness is about to come up and available. Chains of Corruption set too.
Yeah, this is a bit scary. As the Bros, it's their turn to go for the flank play. Scary Crocodile, but Namgung is going to get engaged on. Has Jaeger's in there. It's a great shockwave from Roma. Zeka goes golden, though, and there's that GA that Kanavi wanted to use. He's trying to get out. Burning, and the Tick is going to be able to take him out. There is now Gumayusi. Yeah, that's a very scary Crocodile. And down will go the Varus one more time. Curtains have been called here for Zeka, but he shifts those sands beautifully. Get himself out of the way. There's still not a whole lot to fight for.
This game is such a mess. It's unbelievable.
I love it.
Yeah, this is, I mean, yeah, what do we expect? 2 teams fighting for their first win in the LCK Cup. Bro has been here many times before, fighting for their first win. HLE, not so much. You know,
the defending first stand champions still yet to find a victory here.
Yeah, I think there was some stat which was this is the first time ever that HLE has gone 0-2 in their first week of play.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that somewhere. I'm going to trust that I'm going to trust the source if I saw it somewhere online.
Wow. I think if you saw it online, it's probably true, right?
Yeah, people wouldn't just go on the internet and lie.
On the internet. That's
yeah, that'd be crazy.
No, don't do that. Because, like, think about it. Then if you lie online... Oh, I just headbutts the wall. If you lie online, then, like, all of the AIs and stuff that people use are probably going to get stuff wrong as well because they like to get the information from there. So,
that's
like,
true.
It just kind of ruins everything.
Oh, man, yeah.
And we all like to just trust everything.
That'd be like trickle-down lienomics, you know?
Yeah. A bit of being facetious here on this broadcast currently, as we are now just going to look forward to the next fight. Likely to be in about 10 seconds' time, as the Baron, as you can see, swimming up the river.
Yeah, Guma's flash did get burned in that last scenario again. Possibly could have just held it. I think his fate was pretty assured. And also, Teddy now has IE, so he is doing damage.
Yeah, he's scary.
Doesn't even need cashback. He just builds his items the old-fashioned way, one at a time.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He's also got a cheeky BF sword there as well. So a new best friend in that inventory. And yeah, Teddy, when he finishes that off, what is it going to be, a Bloodthirster or something like that? He's already really hurting. But every one of these bullets is going to be painful. As okay, here we go once again. And yeah, Gumayushi's not allowed to play the game. It's just kind of illegal at this point as Jaeger goes up there from Nungun to keep him alive. But the turret gets angry once again. It looks like they're not going to be able to take down the Pantheon though, and he is allowed to escape. Their use of just pressing man drop paranoia over and over again, it's working.
Yeah, and now Baron's up, Dragon's up. You know, you've been a lot of cooldowns there. Maybe just head over to Dragon with Guma being dead. Do need to heal up though in the meantime. Gideon's just going to solo it.
Yep.
Namgoon's getting back on the map. They are moving over towards the Baron, and Gideon obviously doesn't have the ult yet to get over, but it's coming up soon. He wants this Dragon, he's committing, so you're going to have to force him off this objective, and it's going fast.
It is going very fast. Zeka does so much damage to this. It's okay. Pre-exhaust onto casting, and that is going to be Kanavi locking down the Baron. That is just the 1-2-3 punch onto the Orianna to take him down, but casting gets on top of Zeka. He has to go golden, and casting's going to get wiped out. Finally, Gideon makes his way in. The flash, and Gideon closes the gap onto Zeka. And now Teddy's trying to fight this one out. Finally, Gumayushi shows up, and he is angry after getting targeted earlier. That is going to be only the Nocturne left alive, but not a whole lot of Barons are left on the map as it's only Delight glowing purple.
Guys, 17 kills each. What is this game? Wait, he dropped the Dragon. He didn't finish the,
the Dragon.
Oh, man. It's just crazy. This play is objectively exactly what Bro wants, and then it just doesn't pan out in any way at all because they go from this to like, okay, we'll kill the Dragon, then he has to leave the Dragon and deal with the Baron, but they don't stop the Baron because he's too late. His ult's such a short cooldown at this point because he has 5 stacks of Ultimate Hunter and the Experimental Hexblade that his ult actually comes back up in a couple of seconds. And look at Zeka, by the way, look at this little drift trick.
Oh, what the
Nearly
heck?
gets him away. And then Guma even teleports in to clean up. And in the end, the Baron power play after this was a 1.5k advantage for HLE.
Yeah, it's the old Baron. Let's just say that
it's now
this old Baron.
1,100. Dragon is still up. The game is still undecided.
I mean, it's 3,000 gold. It's nothing here at 35.5 minutes.
It's chaos. Yeah. That's what it is.
And Teddy has the old 6 items already completed, as does have Storm Surge now done.
Has the extra spot for the control ward.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
What a team player.
You love to see it. All right, let's see who's going to be able to pick this one up. This is Cloud Soul for HLE if they're able to get it. And the Bros just looking to try and deny. There's the Paranoia. Shockwave does nothing at all. As Zeka once again shifts the stance to get himself out of there. You can see Zeus being so annoying in that backline. Finds the double stun and keeps himself alive for such a long time. It's Kanavi that gets a double as he wipes out the carries of the Bros. And casting not long for the world. They will be able to get the soul, but most importantly, they very handily win the fight, and they may just be able to win the game.
I don't think they can clear the waves. Those two against the 4 strong of HLE. Overgrowth in the tower as well, going to make it easy to take. This should just be the game end unless Gideon and Namgoon can pull off a miracle here. I don't think it's enough.
And what did I say to you when you first turned up at LoL Park today? I was like, are you looking forward to the 6 gamer? Well, I mean, this was pretty close. We might actually have a 3-game series here in our first one, but this time, HLE are going to be able to find the win in game number 1. An absolute bloodbath with 40 kills in 37 minutes. But there it is. The orange tank takes down the Nexus and will pick up the victory here. But game 1s, they're no stranger to. It's getting the 2s or the 3s that they've really got to figure out.
You know, what do you even say after that game? Like, it's like, good job, guys.
Just a clean 1-0, nothing to see here.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what you say.
Credit to Zeus at the end, dodging away from the shockwave, because that shockwave failed, and it felt like they just lost all steam in the fight there. Zeus getting a great combo out of both the carries, but it just felt like it came down in that final fight, and then HLE managed to execute better, and that was it. But that was certainly a game. Certainly
it was
a lot of game in League of Legends.
One of them of all time, absolutely.
Yeah.
As Gumayushi in the end did a fair bit of damage, but I don't think the game was really about him. I think
it kind of was about Bro killing him.
It was about Bro killing him, and honestly, like, who was the main character on HLE in this game number 1? Maybe it was Guma, actually, as it all shook out in the end. because there were some whoopsies, but there were some positive plays as well.
Yeah.
There was Kanavi doing Kanavi things. There was everything that you'd want in an HLE game. And thankfully, it's an HLE series, so we'll get another one. So we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, the space to break it down, then we'll have game number 2. See you soon.
포킹 좀 할게. 포킹 돼. 그냥 8초. 6초. 슬슬 당겨볼게 이거. 온다. 빨리. 위에 좋아. 그냥 아래 봐. 아래. 받을래. 봐봐. 레넥 보자. 레넥 잡으면 게임 끝. 레넥 잡고 미드 가면 게임 끝. 용 먹고 그냥 가도 될 듯. 미드 가자.
Focusing on, which is namely Pantheon and the Azir and Orianna. So the mid lane going to be a little bit different. We'll see whether it is just going to be the classic Rise Talia for game 2 that we have seen quite commonly.
Yeah, I feel like some of the picks in the other roles are a little bit more fringe in the sense that like they're not the things you expect to be picked in the first rotation necessarily. You know, like I don't think teams are too upset about the fact that like Rakan and Pantheon are gone. There's a lot of support picks available. The Azir Orianna though, those are the picks that you see very highly prioritized, so those being gone will shake up the mid-meta a lot in this game too. But I think the other pools are less affected. I think AD carry Varus being gone obviously does affect Guma a good amount, but there's still a lot of AD carries available that he can play. So we'll see what is on the cards. Rise is going to come through as a ban, and it was at Aphelios as well. So last time it was Ambessa, Aurora that were taken away by the Bros, and they've been left available. And it was Poppy that was banned by HLE here. So
and Gideon is pretty good at the good old Poppy, so you can understand why that was banned away. But I think Ambessa is probably a little bit more dangerous, especially with the flexible nature of the champion. Instead, the Vi is going to be taken away. And so now, what are the Bros going to be picking up? I think Talia stocks certainly rising. But the Aurora is also another one, now that you mentioned, has not been banned away. Yunara, another thing that is up and available as well. And we'll just have to see. The Ambessa will be the decision, and I do not blame them for it one little bit.
Yeah, also going to think about the fact that, you know, some of the picks like Renekton and Gnar that you could play into the Ambessa have been taken away. They'll give you a bit of a tougher time in the early levels. So a lot of freedom to pick that one up.
Ooh.
And looking at the Akali, which can be a flex.
Zayas doing the donkey thing, you know, where he's like, I'm pretty sure Akali's the best right now. Instead, Yunara going to be considered for Gamushi and will be locked in.
Yeah, I feel like we often see higher priority on the Yunara in the later games when a lot of the tools to deal with it and lock it down are gone. The fact that they banned the Vi is a little bit telling, but also the Nocturne Orianna is gone as well, so a bit more freedom for the Yunara to play the game and really take over here. And it's important for Bro to make sure you do get some reliable setup, because you have that Ambessa, that really powerful ultimate, but we've seen many times before, a little bit tricky to connect that onto a mobile target.
Yep.
So you want someone to get that initial CC down, because right now I'm looking at HLE, they already have 2 tricky to pin down carries. You need someone to be able to set up on that for Bro, so you can follow up with that public execution from the Ambessa.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what Roma is going to take into this Aurora. right now. We do have Teddy with a little bit more upfront damage with the Corki pickup. Might actually be able to challenge this lane the Gamushi and Delight have put up for themselves, or at least 50% of it, with the Yunara already there. Does take a little bit longer for her to get online. As will it just be the bottom lane locked away? Very flexible Ambessa as well. Could just be jungle and bottom lane that they do have, but instead it's going to be the Talia. I was a little bit worried about this just because, like you say, things are a bit tricky. Landing seismic shoves against these two could be tough. However, there is a dash on the Yunara, and the rocks can be pretty helpful.
Yeah, I think the Revel Earth just kind of means they can't push forward too aggressively, does limit those dashes, so there's a decent amount of value there. HLE looking at the Jax potentially for Zeus.
And it is kind of a blind Jax, right? With the fact that the Ambessa could be going into the jungle. And so I don't think there's a lot of pressure on Zeus to lock away his top lane pick just yet. Maybe looking to get a bit more information, as that could be Kanavi playing the Aatrox yet again.
Yeah, it could be jungle or top. So Kanavi did have a strong start of the game last time we saw him on this Aatrox, although it did get a little bit chaotic afterwards, but definitely got some good early momentum.
Yeah, it's another one of those things where just watch the beginning, and then turn it off. You know, that's what we'd recommend. All right, next round of bans, and I think support's probably going to get targeted here, is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I do think it's pretty cool that by having the Aatrox picked up here, you do present that sort of flex angle, and it makes it difficult for Bro to ban against you, since they really don't know where it's going to go. I also like that HLE are banning away the Nautilus as something that can be a threat to that Yunara. I honestly feel like a Alistar ban wouldn't be bad as well. We've seen Corki Alistar a lot as a bottom lane. Me and Widdit weren't huge fans, because obviously you pick the Corki to win lane, and the Alistar kind of neutralizes that, but I feel like, you know, you get the Alistar out of lane and he's an absolute menace. Corki helps bridge that a decent amount, and also the Alistar does have the reliable CC onto the Yunara, so...
Yeah, could be pretty important, as Nico going to be taken away once again. Does mean that now the Alistar situation not necessarily as important as far as banning it away is concerned. As, of course, HLE will get the first look in, but instead, Cal will be taken away, and that is 4 support bans being locked out. What is Delight going to do? And will we find out now? As, of course, could be looking at a top lane pick, but holding onto the flex of the Aatrox could be pretty important here, as it looks like Delight just wants to go for a bit of engage, see what it is going to be.
I think holding it off makes a decent amount of sense, especially since Delight definitely happy just picking an engaged support here.
Poppy.
That technically just keeps things
flexible.
Yeah. Doesn't fully reveal your hand, as obviously it can be played in the jungle still. That being said, it sort of does give a little bit of information, and you know, if you're on the side off Bro, you don't want to pick one of those engaged supports that really gets shut down. Like if you're picking a Rel into the Poppy, you're gonna have a bad time. So now I'm gonna have to kind of go into this with that sort of aspect of the equation and be aware that you might be laying into the Poppy, you might not be though. How are you gonna play out this draft? And it's a similar situation for Gideon, not fully knowing the matchup. Will just go for that Xin Zhao though. Obviously able to buy a good amount of time against the DPS of the Yunara.
But doesn't really like Poppy. Steadfast Presence does kind of make your Audacious Charge not feel that fantastic. As Namgung actually considering the Lehen special here in the Elise support. That would be an interesting choice. See whether that is where they're going to go. It would provide a lot of power in the lane. And would kind of, it may even force this Poppy to be either top or in the jungle, and force Delight to go on something else, because otherwise the lane could be very, very difficult. But we'll just have to see. You can sort of block the Q and stuff like that as the Poppy. It's not exactly the worst matchup in the world, but it still doesn't feel great.
It's definitely a matchup, especially with the fact that the AD carry matchup is Corki into Yunara. If it is Yunara Poppy in the bot lane, you are just going to feel a little bit lifeless.
Ooh, Zion would be a bit of an interesting choice. We've got Aatrox and then new Aatrox, and there it is. All right, 2 Aatroxes. What does it mean?
It means it's going to be, well, I mean, only one of them has the revive now. But both of them very durable. I'm definitely going to need some focus fire to take them out. You know, I think a lot of value for Natalia with that Unraveled Earth here. But team fighting power from HLE, there's a good amount of it. But I just think I'm a little bit concerned about this bot lane 2v2 and how that's going to fare. I think they haven't given themselves great tools to get through that laning phase.
Yeah, and I feel like Delight's job is going to be a tough one as well. Hitting an Elise with a Keeper's Verdict is going to be quite difficult, as well as casting, who can then just unstoppable it if he does have the ultimate available. There are a lot of champions that do have sort of ways of getting around that very pivotal ultimate that Delight does have, so he's going to have to play smart, make sure that he can split up these fights effectively and get themselves into a position that is going to work out for themselves. As I think the Bros actually have a pretty comfy composition, but the brawliness, right, of the double Aatroxes is just going to be, it feels like it fits, you know, the Kanabi playstyle.
I think also, you know, one of the things I was concerned about was having that reliable CC to pin down the Yanara so that you had the follow-up, and you don't have that, right? You're relying on, you know, an Elise Cocoon or like a Xin Zhao knock-up so that you can follow up onto that Yanara. I think that if you don't crush bot lane, you're going to have a really bad time trying to deal with this hyper carry. So we'll have to see what Teddy and Namgoon can do in this one.
Yep, and they at least, you know, they do have a pretty powerful bottom lane. We're seeing it right now. Let's get into it. All right. Oh, Teddy, huge shout out for having the Toboggan Corki. An oldie but a goodie. You know, although not quite as exclusive as it used to be, right? A lot of us, you know, bought it when it first came out, the Winter Olympics skin, but it's since been sort of re-released, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel quite as cool.
I think as well, can't you get it from Hextech Crafting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as exclusive as it used to.
Gotta share the love.
Still a very cool skin, though. I do like it a lot.
There's a lot of good Corki skins, honestly.
Very true. Making that decision tough. Whoa, Flash Cocoon! As Namgoon is going in. Looking to get in on top of Gumayushi. Lights him on fire and then gets himself the heck out of there. Barrier doing a whole bunch of work here as Delight also throws down the heal. So 2 summoner spells in trade for 2. Namgoon did have to use his flash.
One of the things is because you go so aggressive and catch them off guard, Delight healed, and obviously you get reduced healing because of the Ignite. There's just one issue with that trade. Namgoon was level 1, so he only had E-skilled, and he had no damage.
Yes.
So he didn't actually do anything to Guma. It was literally just Teddy using a Phosphorus Bomb and then autoing. So you might have noticed in the aftermath of that play, they didn't really...
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. However,
there was no kill
message was received.
Yes, it definitely signaled something. Aggression.
Yeah. And I do like that. That's a good message to send, you know? Zeus and casting on some of the more recently released champions here. Feeling pretty good about that one, as it looks like Zeus with control of the wave for the moment, but I think the Ambassador is not going to have the worst time here in this lane. See whether casting is going to tech in a cheeky Executioner's Calling or something like that. But I guess just have to see where he is going to go there. The ulti can be pretty frustrating, getting a whole bunch of health back as Zeka misses the Q, I'm pretty sure, as the flash from Roma is the weirdest thing ever, and Zeka is just going to kill him. All right, break it down for me, Ox.
He saw something I did not. That is all I can ascertain from that. He saw something I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't see it either.
Yeah. I don't know what he saw, but...
Oh, dear.
We'll wait for the replay before we dive deeper into this one.
Yeah, we will probably get it. Just have to see whether we get some slow motion to really get full information. Here we go. Now, break it down.
So, I think the game plan was... Okay.
I think it was flash and then Q back.
No, I think the theory was that he wanted to get the big boulder off, and he thought if he flashed into melee range, then Zeka wouldn't be able to flash it himself. He was thinking, Zeka is going to flash my big boulder, I'm going to flash in a melee range and big boulder him. And then he like flashed and threw it past him.
I guess so. I think something went wrong. Let's just go with that.
I think he thought too hard, you know? Yeah. It's like he's thinking like 7 steps ahead, and Zach is like, I'm just gonna beat you up, man.
Yeah, I've never had that problem personally.
Yeah.
As casting and Zeus doing some fighting here. Zeus says, "Get over here." Bit of Scorpion tactics. Like to see it.
Sometimes you can just overthink things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look, I can empathize but I can't relate. Just don't really think that much.
Yeah.
It's not really worth it.
You would have never made that play. You'd have made it. You'd have just thrown your rocks at him regularly.
Yep. Fun fact, by the way, as Teddy is using the Winter Olympics skin, the Winter Olympics are coming up, and Sunke will be casting the Winter Olympics.
Oh, that's
he's casting the curling. Isn't that cool?
That's super cool.
Yeah. It's to watch people do brooming. I don't know very much about curling. That's something who's a sport whose rules I don't know very much about.
We're talking about a sport curling, not like when you do your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. In case anyone's confused.
What? Why did we need... Okay. Well, goodbye, Dagon. Dagon is not going to be casting the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Because he was asleep when they sent him the invitation. Slurkle comes out. Now I'm continuing to try and be frustrating here towards the bottom side of the map, as at least the bros are doing what it says on the tin, right? They are winning the lane. They have a slight advantage, about 300 gold at this point in time, as Gumyushi has been struggling to hit the minions.
Yeah, I mean, this is the expectation. I feel like there's some lanes where you're playing Poppy and you're like, everything you do, I will shut down. And then there's some lanes where you're playing Poppy and you're like, I'm just here. Yeah. I'm just here for moral support. And you're just saying, like, good job, AD Carry. You keep hitting those minions. And then your AD Carry gets hit by a lot of damage. And you're like, I'm sorry, AD Carry. I wish I could do something. I
promise I'm going to be useful
AD
later.
Carry, watch this. I'll throw my buckler at a minion. There you go. There's some farm.
I got a stack off my World Atlas.
Yeah, oh, look. He threw a buckler.
There you go. And picked it up. Look at that. Look at a cute little shield.
That's all he can really do. Yeah. So, not the best scenario to be playing Poppy. Oh.
Roma is going to put between the worlds here, and he just takes the full combo and is just really dead. No flash, no chance. Okay, Cocoon going to connect on to Gumyushi. Does have the barrier back up again, as Namgung gets himself out of there with the repel.
I mean, it's just the power of, against an immobile mid laner when they have no flash, the slow from the ultimate off the Aurora, it can just do that. It really looked like it didn't look like a fancy gank, like we're so used to like Nocturne Orianna or like Jarvans and stuff. That kind of was just like walk up and kill him. But it works, you know?
It does. It's sort of like it's the old strategy.
Yeah.
Kind of works.
Well, it's better than my most hated type of ganks of all time, which you've seen a reintroduction.
Yes, the Shock Blast gank.
Yes, yes. I mean, Nidalee does this as well. I hate this with Nidalee. Not even the spear ganks. The walking, auto them 3 times with red buff, and then walk out and call it a gank. It's not, it's like, I was never going to die. You're just being annoying.
Yeah, and you also, like, you didn't do anything that's sort of fancy or anything like that. Like, there's no real, like, you just auto-attacked them.
You just ruined my lane. I was winning lane, and now I'm low on health. And the Shock Blast one is the worst. He just walks in, Shock Blast you, collects his first strike gold.
That's the worst part, is you know you're giving him gold as well.
Oh, it's so big. The Shock Blast is so big.
Oh, Cocoon going to connect here on to Zeus. There's the burst damage. As Namgung says, job well done.
That was a great himself. Yeah, that was a great angle. Just found a way to slip in.
A jungler, don't you think?
Yeah, that's it. You know, she could also, once upon a time, have been a top laner too.
Hey, oh my god, that's a long time ago. Wow.
That's a throwback.
Oh my.
She can do anything.
It's so weird thinking that she was a top laner. That is... She just has no wave clear at all. But it did happen.
What the game once was.
Uh-huh. Man, that was a very long time ago, Ox. Thank you for taking me back like a decade.
Oh.
All right, Gideon is looking to kill Gumyushi, and he might be able to do so here as he's just walking towards him. 3 Talon Strike goes down, held on to the Audacious Charge, and there is a very dead Yunara.
That feels pretty bad, you know, having the ult for the dash and flash and still ends up getting caught out there. Just a great wraparound from Gideon.
Yeah.
And now looking to threaten this red as well.
Namgung is a jungler.
He is.
Look at that. Beautifully done. Kanavi is on the grubs. He's going to be able to complete that, but Gideon steals away his red buff. And so the bros, with about 1,000 gold lead, I mean, looking pretty good.
This is really how you want the early game to be going for the bros, and how you want to be using this extra pressure you have from the Elise. You know, you have casting already has this Eclipse power spike, which is a huge spike for the Ambessa. The only problem is the mid lane situation, because you think about the fact that the bros nearly have 1,000 gold lead, then look at mid lane where Roma's 900 gold down.
I mean, that means the rest of the bros have a bigger gold lead.
You're a glass half full kind of guy.
Absolutely.
But it does, you know, it brings some concerns about mid bleeding out a little bit, and it does mean HLE have a point of strength because, you know, if HLE just hang on, they're okay. Bro need to sort of accelerate the game and keep the pace going. So Roma does have his flash back up again, which is a bit of a positive.
Yep.
And could hopefully just look to stabilize from here. Kanavi is trying to steal away this blue. Oh, Namgung! Oh!
Almost
Not
manages
quite
to get over
enough
the
of a jungler.
Well, still going to be out of flash for it here. Lands the cocoon onto Kanavi. He's basically by himself as Roma comes over. Gets put between the worlds, though, as Zeka does a decent job. It will get the flash out from the Talia. And so now Roma is susceptible once again. Pull back from Zeus. His casting just looks immune to damage at this point in time.
Eclipse really is an item.
It is a heck of an item.
I do love the solidarity again from the bros. Roma and Namgung just both using their flashes in that passage of play. You know, that was a passage of play where they were like, we're going aggressive. We're
We're doing it together.
Yeah. Maybe not. Oh my god.
Yeah, Casting is just looking to dive him. Grim Deliverance, but okay. No public execution this time around as Casting not going to be able to quite find him with it.
I just respect going for it, and he was trying to line up the ult for where he was going to land with the ult from the Zahen, but, you know, it was pretty cool. Didn't quite land it. I respect him going for it, though. Yep,
respect the hustle. And both of them use their ultis, so no harm, no foul. There's a plate going down as Namgung looking for the point-blank cocoon as Gumayushi going to get lit on fire. Teddy will be able to find the kill as now Delight in a lot of trouble. He'll get taken down. It's a double as now Zeker's looking to clean this one up. Teddy standing his ground, but he's very, very dead. And that is the shutdown over to the already very fed Aurora.
Yeah, I think a little bit rushed from Bro. And also Namgung didn't connect the cocoon. You know, dropped tower aggro very early. I think there were some things that could have gone a little bit better, and that dive could have been cleaner, but you could see it was very rushed, and it just means that Zeka flies in, able to pick up a ton of gold, and now, look, Bros, 1,300 gold ahead, but again, that mid lane discrepancy is massive.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to be a thorn in their side.
This is going to be problematic. They're going to have to deal with Zeka some way. Let's see whether, you know, Gideon can get some focus over there. Maybe Namgung can start trying to take down this Aurora. So Spiderlings launched themselves all the way across the rift. That was very, very fun. And now Gumayushi. Oh, dear. Well, he has a ward.
Doesn't have ult, though.
Let's see whether he can survive this as the repel gets Namgung over there. And will he land the cocoon? Yes, he will. And he takes himself the kill at the same time. The woes of Gumayushi are going to continue. I mean, and it's not even really his fault, but it's been 2 games in a row where he's just been targeted. Roma as well is suffering the same fate as he gets hit by everything and the kitchen sink and will be taken out. The Bros now are going to be coming on in, looking for a bit of an angle as Casting thrown into the wall with a heroic charge. And he might just be dead, gets a big old shield. And Namgung, what goes up must come down, and the Q is going to miss, so thankfully he survives. But HLE able to protect themselves. Gideon goes in. Kanavi is always trying to take more, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a bit of an overstep, you know, I think.
You think, do you?
I think Kanavi could have gone further. I think he would have. I think he would have done it.
He could have been, hitting the inner turret, even though it's untargetable at the moment. He could have been doing that.
He would have done it. I believe him. I believe. But, my question to you really is, who do you think is having less fun this game? Roma or Gumayushi? Who do you think right now?
Probably Roma is having less fun. That's what I would say. As Teddy, okay, never mind. Maybe it's Gumayushi. Maybe it's actually Roma. Well, I mean, Teddy might be killing Delight as well. Never mind. Zex is going to come down, and Teddy is super duper dead.
Okay, well, Guma now has 4 deaths, and Roma has 3, and Roma is getting a plate. So I think now
Gumayushi has 3 times Roma's assists.
That's true, but I'm still. We're trying to balance out who's having the least fun.
Yeah.
I think currently Guma.
How much fun do you get from assists, though?
No one gets fun. No one has
You don't get fun from assists?
Unless you're a support main, you know, or an Ivan player, right?
No, I have a lot of fun with assists. You know, I'm like, wow, someone that I'm with has had a lot of fun beside me.
What champion do you play?
Garen. I don't get a lot of assists.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Zayas is going to be able to take down this top outer turret. As now, Namgung, can he actually find the cocoon here? That's the question. Public execution flies out, though, so of course the cocoon is going to land. And now Delight, did have to keep his verdict, but unfortunately, he did not hit the Ambessa with it. As Teddy, oh, one more. They are respecting Zeus a lot here as casting now with another round of spells, and it's a very dead Zion. I think, yeah, Zeus was in the air trying to deliver the Grim Deliverance, and the delivery got lost in the mail. sort of.
I hate when that
it's still at Amazon, I think, at this stage.
Well, we're in Korea, so I guess it'd be Kupang.
Yeah, Kupang. Yeah. It's still over there.
Yeah, so Zeka, he is still strong, but it's feeling less and less relevant as Bro are just kind of moving around, just picking people off. We'll see this replay casting on this Ambessa getting so much value. Lines up the ultimate, the follow-up is that easy cocoon after that. Delight gets the knock away. That leaves him vulnerable, and he just manages to survive here on super low HP. Then Zeus kind of steps in and be like, hey, back off. And then it's like, oh,
yeah, and they're like, all right, well.
okay, yeah. You're next, buddy.
We will not kill Poppy. Deal? And he said, no deal. But they didn't really have much of a choice. Okay, 4 stacks left. Make that 3 on Gumiushi's Cull. So we'll be able to get a bit of money there, but it's still a 3,000 gold lead for Teddy. My goodness.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's a bigger gold discrepancy in favor of Teddy over Guma, and Guma has less gold than Roma, despite there being a support. Wait, the 80 carry quest, sorry, but the 80 carry quest hasn't finished. And in fact, the only 2 people who haven't finished their quests are Roma and Guma.
Oh, no. Okay, so whoever gets it first, the quest completion is going to be having the most fun out of the 2.
That's how we
can confirm it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just have to. Oh wow, this is the first time we've been really like focused on the quests so far this season. As Zeka's moving in, we're going to try and help take down casting here as Grim Deliverance does come down. They're put between the worlds, and the public execution was actually for himself.
Guma got his quest done.
All right, there it is, having more fun.
Yep, he's having more fun. He gets that extra gold as well. Oh, Roma finishes
just barely.
Oh.
I think we can say that they're both not having a whole lot of fun, but Guma with a little bit more is what we're going to say here. As Teddy slowed down by the Slurk, but does have the Valkyrie.
The level of difference is very small.
It is. That means they might both be having quite a lot of fun. But they're both having a very similar amount. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we can definitely establish that.
Glass half full. All right, Gideon, I think he knows that things are looking a little bit dangerous in there, but the heroic charge doesn't actually work out here, and he just takes both of the camps.
Thanks to the leash.
And HLE just going to back away. All right. Wow, that was pretty Giga Chad there by Gideon.
Still has that grub, that Herald, sorry, ready and available.
I like that you say grub because it's Gideon.
Yeah, it's just in my mind.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Whenever you say Gideon, I just think Gideon's grubs.
Yeah, Gideon grubs every time.
Yeah.
King Kanza just said @casters in chat. I don't know what that means. Oh, you're just trying to work out who we are? I'm Atlas, this is Ox, and this is a replay.
Very educational.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good to oh,
back in live. Kanavi is doing some things. Cocoon, I don't know whether it landed, but it didn't really matter as now Zeus, he dives into the fray. Aatrox 1 down, Aatrox 2 still going. All right, yeah, Delight was channeling the ulti and just decides not to use it.
You said about the game 2s for HLE, they are really not beating the allegations.
It's not, yeah, it's game 2s are looking a little more difficult than the game 1s so far.
Yeah.
However, it is early days. 2,400 gold lead though here for the Bros. And wow, are the Bros going to give us 3 games?
I mean, think about the fact that think how much weight.
You keep telling me to think about things, man, and it's just not my strong suit.
Yeah, I mean, Roma did a bit too much thinking earlier, and look what happened for him.
Yeah, see? Thinking's so dangerous.
But Zeka really is trying so hard to keep this game moderately close. And if you remove his gold advantage, Bros would be 5,000 gold up. What I'm trying to say is the rest of the team are very far ahead.
Yes. That is certainly what we can see here.
Yeah.
Zeka is really like making sure that he has the same gold lead as the entirety of Bro, like for this entire game. And he's been keeping up. It's pretty impressive. That does mean that Teddy's advantage is absolutely absurd, and we can see that that is continuing to be the case. Roma will still find some value, though, with that seismic shove as Kanavi has the World Ender, but does just dash his way out of there. Zeka actually now with the flash on cooldown, he could be susceptible because he has nothing defensive in the build, unless you could say Dash Cannon is a bit defensive because you can move away from the bad guys, I guess. But I mean, there's no Zhonya's, nothing like that. He is killable.
I still feel like as a Aurora, you have a lot of tools, you know, outplay potential, but definitely the flash helps.
If you do get cocooned, though,
I think
you might just die.
You should die if you get cocooned.
True.
he is the focus target for Bro. That's very true. Dragon up and available would be the third for Bro.
Yeah, Delight gets engaged on here, doesn't get the Steadfast Presence up in time, and actually takes a fair bit of damage here. Gideon breaks the chains of the bind, and the Bros are going to slink back into the fog of war.
I've noticed they did update, I was complaining about it a while ago, the Bandle Pipe's not showing the AoE buff in the Spectator. They do now show that.
Oh, cool.
Which is nice. So you can see everyone having fun.
Yeah.
Apart from a couple of people.
Oh, Zeus gets into the back of the pit here. Kanavi trying to get over there, and they do evict the jungler. And he takes the dragon anyway, so it's not too much of a problem. Now they're all just trying to get out. Grim Deliverance, and unfortunately, Poppy does not have the... Okay, in goes Roma. That's a crazy maneuver. Gumushi eats a bunch of rocks from the floor, but he will be able to escape. I thought that was suicide there from Roma. I'm really glad that he's still playing with gusto despite not having very much fun, as we established earlier on.
He seems to be having slightly more fun at this one. He even has a kill, you know?
My goodness, so much fun.
HLE, though, as a whole, seems to be having less and less fun in this game. They're like flashing over for the ult knockaway, but the dragon's already dead, and then he kind of realizes...
Do you know what would have been the best if Gideon had just walked to the wolves and just started the clear again?
That I respect.
It would have been so good.
That'd be so...
Because he was... Like, the camp had just spawned as well. He was so perfect.
That would be such an efficient move.
It would have been.
Yeah.
All right, HLE still struggling here as the Bros continue to build an advantage. Soul point available. Are they going to do it? No, tell me that. I just can't believe it. Oh, man.
It's feeling pretty believable at this point.
This is not the match
Teddy
that I was thinking.
items as well.
Collector is done. And he's still got brown bags. Both of our AD carriers actually with brown bags. Rift Herald? Shelly just wanted to go back home. And Gideon says, you know what, old girl, you can. And there she goes.
Where's it going for that distance?
All right, well, we're going to drive it. And she's looking for an inner turret. She is going to be able to find it here. Steadfast Presence means that it's very, very tough time, but Kanavi taken down so low. It's Numgoon that grabs another kill. Public Execution doesn't quite find the mark, though, and now Zeus gets the knock-up onto Teddy. Back in goes Gideon. Grim Deliverance onto 3, and it's Zeus that's starting to pop off in this fight. Finally, Casting makes his way back, but unfortunately, the rest of his teammates are already gone, and HLE will find themselves the comeback victory in the team fight, and they're looking for even more.
I just feel like such a massive throw from Bro in that situation. Gideon driving it into the tower seems to forget that Poppy exists because, to be honest...
We all know running it down. What about driving it down, Ox?
I mean, that was it. Delight not having done that much this game, maybe flying a bit under the radar, catches him off guard, and then seeing the value of the Zehen here, just really a dominant force in this fight. The ult value pretty big here from Zeka. Kanavi just gets exploded, but then it's Zeus here, flies in. They can't shred through him quick enough.
I think if Casting had have actually been able to hit the ultimate, then maybe it could have worked out. But the Grim Deliverance value is just gigantic here.
And the fact he gets his passive stacked, so they can't just focus him down, huge.
We're going to see him here from the side. Perfect flank angle. And the knock-up to get the flash out of Teddy is so important. Oh my goodness. Yep. Turn to Ambessa, take it down. That's precisely what happens. That's a big old nicer, and that is actually going to get HLE back within touching distance here as Gideon almost just one-shot, 6-0-3. Zeka almost has a death cap.
Yeah, we are reminded he is doing a lot of damage and is very fed.
Yes.
And that lead Bro had has been a little bit thrown and still have an advantage in terms of gold. Driven, sorry.
Yes.
But, you know, one Dragon from Soul.
Cocoon is going to connect. Delight, though, is going to have the Steadfast Presence, denies the Q, but now you've got Casting making his way in. Delight is very, very dead, but can they get more? That is the question, as there's a public execution. Casting, once again, getting a big old shield, but he's going to get wiped out. Zeus just walks away from that seismic shove. So a 1-for-1, but Poppy in trade for Ambessa. Man, HLE feeling good about this one as well.
Yeah, not really a good deal there. And I feel like they had the Poppy so secured in those kills. They could have consolidated the vision around Dragon, right? You take out the support, it's easy to clear out the vision. And then they just go too far, just a step too far. Diving in to that melee, just a massive overstep. I think it's just the fact that they're TPing in, they're like, oh, we have to get more from this. We committed a TP.
I mean, taking Delight and then setting up for the Dragon that's up in a minute's time would have been pretty good.
Yeah. you kind of just fly into the blender here.
Yeah. It's not really what you want to do.
And now you can see HLE posturing around the Baron. They know casting only just spawned, doesn't have TP, so it's easy for them to have the pressure.
And Gumyushi has 3 items. The Infinity Edge is now done, and so he is doing decent damage at this point in time. The fun level is increasing here for the HLE AD carry.
He has a kill as well, so, you know.
Oh my goodness.
That's the barrier for fun. He's having more fun.
He is winning that battle.
No Rabadons for Zeka yet. I feel like the hat, it is the fun hat.
I think he does have, almost have the money for it. He must, as he's been out on the map for quite some time. There is the Drake taken here. It is only the first for HLE, so not a huge deal here for the Bros. And they do use it to get control here of this mid lane. Crystalline Overgrowth going to get popped. And this one should go down very quickly. Yep, Teddy makes short work of that inner turret. They can now slink back towards the Baron direction, as the Merkwolf is going to distract Gideon momentarily.
I think as well,
takes the red.
The longer this game goes on, I feel like the better and better HLE going to feel about the odds in this game. You know, you had a moment there where Zeka was without Rabadons. Next time you fight, he's probably going to have that Rabadons completed. So I think that mistake, that overstep from casting has kind of costed them a window to secure the Soul. Next Soul fight might not be as easy to navigate.
Yeah. And the Bros still have a gold advantage, right? They still have a Drake advantage. They still have all of these things, you know, positively in their direction. But like you say, as these fights, these brawly fights continue, the Yunara is going to have such a good time. And there are so many threats. Like, this is a quadra-threat composition from HLE. Kanavi and Zeus are going to be doing so much in the melee. And Zeka and Gumyushi from alongside are just going to be so hard to pin down and will be doing so much damage. Zeka already, as we've seen, really cutting through his targets. So I think a lot of it's going to be on Teddy, making sure that he gets as much value as possible. That Infinity Edge could not come any sooner for item number 4. He's pretty close to it. Only about 1,400 to go. As Casting finally puts his shoes together, we'll be able to grab some Merc Treads. And the Ambassador as well, I think, is going to be pretty important. So the Bros still holding on to the same level of gold advantage. But I think a lot of it is going to be now focused towards this Baron that is up and available, at least for the next 3 minutes' time before we get to the next dragon.
I just picked up a Mikhail's, so the Cocoon value dropped. And that's the fun hat completed by Zeka.
Oh dear, the sorting hat.
Yeah, fun for him.
He's going to send them all to Slytherin. Or Hufflepuff. Which one's worse?
Well, they are the green teams. I feel like they want to be in Slytherin.
That's true. Maybe they're already in Slytherin. And Slytherin got cooler as the books went on. You know, it felt like it was the bad guys at the beginning. It wasn't the bad guys towards the end.
But weren't all the bad guys in Slytherin?
They were all in Slytherin, but there were some good guys in Slytherin as well. I seem to remember. I don't know. Ask chat. Anyway, the Bros now looking to see whether they can defend this Baron. They do get vision of it, as HLE haven't committed to too much just yet. I feel like he's so close to just getting one shot.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. You know, he's been playing... I feel like you play a series, 2 games so far. You played Pantheon support and Elise support.
Yeah.
You were playing with fire.
Yeah, he took Ignite in both games as well.
Yeah, so
very beautiful.
Very little. IE picked up by Teddy, so big spike. Oh,
yeah,
no.
GA is also done.
No, don't do it!
Oh, God, Slurkle! As he has to flash, and I respect it. I think getting hit by even any abilities that Zeka has will spell the end of the Elise.
I thought he was just dead. I thought he was going to get exploded.
Well, Gideon not quite able to win the Smite fight against Kanavi, so that is immovable vision for the moment here for HLE.
Okay, they clear out some vision. It's a minute 45 until that next dragon. But it feels like main focus has been controlling this vision around the top side of the map.
I thought the main focus was on who was having the most fun.
That was our main focus.
Ah, okay.
I think fun levels have kind of...
They're normalizing.
Yeah, I think though Yunara, 3 items at this point in the game, I think Guma has overtaken Roma in terms of fun levels.
Yeah, and I think he will continue to have more fun as this game goes on. However, if Roma gets that incredible seismic shove right on Gumyushi,
yeah,
then the fun will swing back very effectively.
We
There's
all
still
know.
a lot to play for.
You're playing a hyper carry like Yunara. You should be having a lot of fun in the late game, but we all know that can change, right?
Certainly can.
Especially when top laners exist and they have buttons that can just hold you still and one-shot you, and they can level up to 20.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah. Casting certainly going to be able to do that as this game goes on. Only 2 items completed for him, as Zeus looking for item number 3 does have a few more components put together.
I feel like it's always been the thing where the AD carries are just like ahead of the curve compared to everyone else in pro play. but it's just like, especially because they're abusing cashback and the roll quest gold.
Yeah.
It just feels so silly now. Just like
They have so much extra money.
Yeah.
And yeah, Teddy's item spike is also feeling pretty phenomenal right now with that Infinity Edge completion. Still wants his Merc Treads, I think is what he's building, unless it's a Hex Drinker cheekily coming in. And I think I wouldn't blame him for a Hex Drinker purchase against Zeka and the amount of burst damage that he does have available. This game really has stagnated as we have 10 seconds until this Ocean Dragon. No one really wanted to go for any sort of Baron contest or anything like that.
Yeah, not the strongest souls, so not the end of the world. The HLE don't get this, but you can see them posturing towards the Baron.
I mean, this Dragon is going to go incredibly quickly. Kanavi does have a ward in the back of the pit as there's the teleport in. They're going to go for the contest as Kanavi gets on over. Let's see whether he can actually steal away this Dragon. It will be secured by the Bros as there's the Crescent Guard, and the Bros just want to get themselves the heck out of there. And I think they're just going to be able to do so. All right, Dragon secured, now we go.
Yeah, ping's coming out towards the Baron, but it feels a little bit risky. A lot of ultimates were burnt there from, I mean, to be fair, both sides, but you look at things like the Talia, like the Corki, a lot less ult-reliant compared to like the Yunara.
Yeah, they really wanted to steal away this red buff as well, and Zeka, you can see, is in position. And oh my goodness, Gideon almost died.
He'll sustain up pretty quickly with the jungle camps, especially with an Ocean Soul, so it's not too much of a concern.
Oh, he didn't die, by the way. He's got a GA, so wouldn't have died, but would have GA'd.
Yeah, he'll hit this red buff and heal up. No, I'm good.
Oh, no! Whoa! All right, well, he's up.
You, my friend, cannot afford to get touched by anything.
Every time Zeka's on screen, I'm like pre-frightened.
Yeah. No, this is why tank supports are so popular in pro play.
All right, Delight on one of said tank supports.
Yeah, so Celestial Opposition tank Poppy feels a lot better than...
Especially feels better when Roamer is like 5,000 gold behind and is not necessarily packing the burst damage.
The Blood Song feels really cool when you do that bite and you do the extra damage.
Yeah.
Not so good when you get tickled by Zeka and just one shot.
Yeah.
He just looks vaguely in your direction. He aims for Teddy and just accidentally kills you instead.
Yep.
Not a good feeling.
That may actually happen in the next team fight. We'll just have to keep our eye on it. At least if the Bros survive, right, their health bar goes up quicker. Because they have Ocean Soul.
That's true. I actually think you should go, you know, Banshees, it builds out, like, you know how Seekers,
the thingy. I know what you're talking about.
Baby Banshees.
Yeah, the little beads.
I actually think you should build that, because it's the only thing that will stop him getting...
Why don't I have the name of that in my brain? It's okay. Weaver's War comes on forward here as Roamer is looking for Zeus. Public execution, though, is Delight. Just going to get blown up. Can the rest of HLE actually find the fight, though? As Teddy flashes away. Gumiishi, I don't know about that one. That was insanity. Phosphorus Bomb would have landed, but he was dead already. As Roamer is having way more fun at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I think he didn't see the Unraveled Earth within the terrain, dashes over into the stun and immediately regrets it, and that is fun over for Guma on that play. Bro going to be able to secure this Baron off the back of that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's have a look at it one more time.
So Delight, you know, I said he was feeling better, feeling tanky, but he will still just get exploded at this point of the game. And the Unraveled Earth, so yeah, there was a little bit just the edge of it next to the terrain, and he dashed through the rocks going over.
I also think that even if the rocks weren't there, probably wouldn't have been a great move.
Yeah, yeah, not ideal, but definitely not as bad.
It was worse. It was definitely worse. And hindsight's 20/20 and all that sort of stuff. But certainly looked like a little bit of a misplay. Does mean now that the Bros have the Baron. Look, and it's 2,000 gold, the advantage for them with the Rebel Baron power play.
I kind of blame ourselves a bit because we said, you know, he's now having fun. It's the late game, you know.
Oh, yeah, true.
And then he's like, you know what, I am having and then that happened, so.
Well, it's all right. You're going to have a lot of fun on Twitter after this. Because of that. Oh, wow. That was a big one. That was...
Teddy's having fun.
He is having fun. He was always having fun, though. That was never in doubt.
Yep.
That's all right. Casting going to get pulled back here by Zeus, who is very scary on this Zahen.
Yep. This is called Release Day Diff.
Yep. And it's a bit minor, but it seems to be enough as public execution. Casting is trying to get something done, but of course there is still an ulti there as Between Worlds goes Zeka.
And this feels really good for Bro, because you get a big ultimate from HLE. and the damage is irrelevant because you have Ocean Soul. You can just sustain back up slowly.
Yep. Weave as well. And
oh, Zeka!
Oh, Roman's going to be able to find him. Zeka explodes. He's having so much fun. Oh my goodness! Inhibitor turret goes down. Inhibitor to follow. The Bros are going to keep HLE winless in game 2s.
Oh, what a pick from Roma.
That's the 93% solo queue win rate, baby.
That
you need to keep your head in the game, no matter how things go in the early stages. As Delight, he finds Teddy there. The exhaust goes down, but Zeus not going to find the Grim Deliverance this time. Teddy goes down, but the trade ain't worth it. Namgung's also able to survive, and it's a double kill from the grave, actually, for Teddy as the ace comes in, and the Bros are going to do it. They'll finish off the Nexus turrets, and HLE will have to try again in game 3.
And the Bros, you know, there was a little bit of volatility in the game, but it was a lot cleaner than game 1 from HLE, to be honest. Maintained the lead for the most part, and Roma bouncing back with a big play. We are obviously going to end up seeing the gold graph, and I feel like the fun graph would be more indicative of how this game played out.
Absolutely. Someone needs to ban a guy called Dagon in chat. He was spamming way too much. He also said what was casting's name? It was wrong. Count Casting? No, it's Commodore Casting. Commodore Casting, the man with the most damage in the entire game. I'm actually very surprised that Zeka didn't do the most. But look at that Bro gold graph. My goodness. It wasn't convincing at the beginning, but it definitely was at the end. Beautifully played by the Bros. And hats off to Roma. Yeah. Really turned it around. The amount of fun he was having at the start of the game, horrendously low. And at the end, found that game-winning shove onto Zeka. And that's all she wrote.
That's all you need to do. Just one big play.
What an extraordinary series we have. It is all over our hands, if only you could see them. But now it is time for us to take a short break. When we get back, the space is going to break that one down. And we'll see you for game number 3 in just a little bit.
나 유나라 볼게
얘들아
얘들아.
바텀 라인 있어요. 바텀 라인. 이거 상대 나랑 연기하자 이거. 상대 미카엘 있고. 너무 빨리지만 자인 신경 써야 돼.
아니 나 미드라인.
왜? 자인 잡았고.
아 유나라 맞아 유나라 맞아.
유나. 잡아줄래? 얘들아 탑이라 해야 돼.
아 끝났어.
오케이.
아 나이스.
아이까.
야 너무 좋아하지 마. 너무 좋아하지 마.
아직.
우리는 더 높게 갈 수 있어. 나이스. 운동 많이 됐다.
나이스. 조만 갈렸다 소리.
Was not decided in the last game.
That is true.
It's going to be decided right now.
So you're saying they're going to have less fun because of that?
Probably. It may impact the level of fun a little bit more. But what is fun is that we are going the distance. So we get into game number 3 once again. This is our 3rd in a row, ladies and gentlemen. As yesterday we did have our banger 6 gamer. And we'll see whether we can do that again. B&K looking at you to take a game off Gen G at least. We'll see whether they do manage to do that. But first, we have Brock, Nope Brock.
Yeah, no Malphite going to be seen, even though hasn't done that well when he did show up in the LCK. Rumble going to be banned again. So the interesting thing is we obviously have sides being switched over, as last time it was Bro with first pick on red side the first 2 games, and now it's HLE with first pick on red side. Blue side going to ban Jace Rumble again, but it's interesting to see what HLE will start banning now. They are on the first pick side.
Yeah.
And we are seeing Nico taken away.
The Rise and the Vi were the next two bans if we were to repeat what happened in the last series.
Yeah, we already saw a change because it was Aphelios which was banned by Bro.
Yeah, true.
Cassiopeia, which cements, oh, I wonder what's going to be the first pick. Any guesses? We did see this done, I think it was last week, and then Chovy brought out the Anivia into it. So I wonder if Roma's ready to bring out the Anivia into the Rise is the question.
And Anivia not necessarily known as a roaming champion, but the Aphelios is going to be the ban, and so the Rise first pick could certainly come in here for Zeka. Let's see whether he does decide to lock that one away. You can see being a bit vocal on the chair there.
I feel it'd be weird to do the Cassiopeia thing and the knock.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's weird.
Yeah. They just pick up the Vi, you know? Maybe they were thinking, bro, we're going to ban the Vi third. Maybe they're thinking, oh, then they'll go the Rise, and then we can go.
Yeah, now Roma is like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it's probably a Vi Ahri that's going to be coming in here. But are you scared of an Ahri as Rise? Probably not.
Is this just an elaborate bait? They've baited the trap. They're like, oh, yes. Oh, no, you picked Rise? Oh, we just realized we banned Cassiopeia. Oh, no, what will we play into it? And then you slam the bird.
Yeah, well.
That could be the theory. Lucian going to come in as well. Honestly, this is already a very short-range composition. Anivia's stock's going up, but we'll see.
That's a Sivir. That's not Anivia.
That is a Sivir indeed.
However, if it was Sivir Anivia, man, that is a lot of wave clear. They could do it. I think Zek is going to lock Ahri though. That's what I can feel in my waters. But it's not going to happen right now.
So we did see it was game 1 against T1, where it was HLE who played Vi Alistair into Paze's Lucian. And they actually managed to bully it out of the game because, you know, they had that point-and-click CC. And very hard to play the Lucian against that. So I think they have some good answers to these short-range carries on the Bro side. You know, we saw the Vi and the Alistair getting banned out in the earlier games. So I think that's available. Will be the Braum coming through. I think Sivir's generally okay into this lane, even though this is a really strong lane, just because of the fact that you obviously can spell shield to stun or the Winter's Bite to try and avoid that from coming through. Obviously don't have the most fun as an Alistair into that lane.
Yeah, it doesn't feel brilliant.
You can just not engage. That is something you can do, you know?
I don't think HLE know that.
Yeah.
I think HLE just do engage. That's sort of the way that it works there. As the Bros, they know the bird. They know the way of the bird.
They hear us talking, and they will take out the bird. I wonder if they do follow up with the Ahri. Talia would be another one which in theory would have been good with his composition. It was what they played into T1, but obviously that's been taken away by Fearless, so not something we have to worry about.
What about Gideon Silas?
Actually a pretty good angle for it, honestly.
Could be kind of cool.
Yeah, you have some good ults to steal. You know, the Vi is a decent one just for the CC lockdown, and then obviously Alistair, you know, is phenomenal, so...
Galio, okay.
I think Galio would have been pretty good, right, to layer with the lockdown. If you have a top lane that has a good amount of damage when you go in, would have been solid. The Kennen comes in, so wanting to ensure that Zeus has fun in the top lane. Although he's normally the person who puts other people through the Kennen experience. That being said, it is Bro who have counterpicked top lane.
Yeah, and now I just want to see a Silas. I just want Gideon to do it. Don't be scared, man. Wukong going to be the consideration. We did see Silas jungle played once so far, and it was Ono. He didn't have the greatest time on the champion, but Gideon, of course, very familiar with the monkey, and so that is what he's going to be playing into the Vi. A little bit of a race to level 6 from the jungle for both of our teams, as there is a Gwen. Zeus going to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, so I wonder, will Castling be willing to just slam Akali into this?
Oh, that'd be exciting.
Because Akali was for a while, the go-to counter into Gwen, and Akali's gained a lot of ground with the Gunblade introduction. Because once you hit like sort of level 9 on Akali, you can't actually just murder Gwen.
Can you murder Ryze? Because they could just pick Akali.
I mean, it is a Zeka pick, right?
He will play. He'll play Ari, but I mean,
you're not gonna have too much fun early. But actually, it's a good denial.
He is gonna do it. So there it is.
I actually think it's a really good pickup because it solves that problem. I actually think if casting had got the Akali, it would have been a real pain point for Zeus. So
casting, come on, buddy. No. This is not like this. Not like this.
No,
okay. I mean, Cassante is better than Fiora, okay?
Yeah, but
I know it's not exactly, the biggest praise.
I just think if Zeus is going to be comfortable in this lane and eventually going to become an absolute monster, it's a very short-range composition from Bro, and you're dealing with a Gwen who presumably at some point is just going to come online and be so hard to deal with. The shred from Gumayushi on this Sivir, if he gets items, he's just going to massacre everyone, right? The Ricochet is going to do so much damage. I think HLE pretty comfortable with this. The thing that Bro have going for them is the bot lane 2v2 strong. The mid lane matchup you're going to have priority in, and Cassante in the early levels should be completely fine in the top lane matchup. So I think, if Bro can get the ball rolling early, you could definitely see an avenue for them. But I think if it gets later, I'm a little bit concerned if they end up falling behind at all. I'll be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I will also, as that's creative. I like it a lot. And yeah, I think that HLE have kind of come out of this draft feeling very, very good. I think Kanavi on the Vi is something that he's looked great on so far this season. And the Bros, it is a workable composition, but I just feel like the answers are sort of all there for HLE to try and conquer it. Still, this is Bro versus HLE. This is not expected outcome territory.
Anything could happen.
Exactly right. And you know what's going to happen right now? We're getting onto the Rift. We're going to have some fan chants. All right, Zeka's starting things off already here, as he does find an electrocute proc. Roma desperately trying to even out the trade. Almost gets there, as that's a pretty cool skin that Zeka's got. I wonder if he helped design it.
Maybe, but getting a good early trade, really nice, especially because you're running Doran Shield and Second Wind on Akali. So losing HP on this champion a little bit fake, because you will just sustain back up easier. You can see Roma already had to burn a health potion. Very rare you get an opportunity to actually trade up as the Akali in this matchup.
Well, Teddy, aggressive positioning here, as we can see. Delight taking a bit of damage, as you expect this Lucian Braum lane to have a bit of priority in the early game.
I know we often get like the early tempo heal in bot lane, but Teddy was full HP.
Whoa! The flash from Namgung. He's going to be able to get the stun, but it's a good headbutt back to deny any follow-up from Teddy. And, I mean, Namgung and the, very early flashes,
he wants flashes per minute, right? But they've actually lost pressure in the lane because of that. So, sometimes you press your buttons, but it doesn't end up working out.
That certainly didn't. So we'll see what they can do as the wave is going to be crashing forward. Still need that level 2 to come on through. And they will be able to get it. One more minion, and there it is. Okay, so now with a couple of extra buttons available to this bottom lane, do they play aggressively, or are they going to sit back and see whether they can get all of their regular abilities put together before they go for anything?
I think level 3 is really where the Lucian Braum is in a good spot. Lucian very much having all 3 abilities to get a full reset on your E is important. And also Braum, because often when you hit level 2, you kind of decide, do I want my E or do I want my W? And sometimes you'll not even skill either of them, because you're kind of waiting to see what happens. And then when you get both, like, okay, I can have both of them, I'm good.
Well, casting got 2 minions underneath that turret, which was very, very sad.
Well, here's the nice thing, right? They did reduce how much gold a cannon minion is worth.
Hey, there you go.
This year, it feels a bit less bad when you miss a cannon.
I don't know. I think it'll always feel bad.
It always feels bad, but it's a little bit less bad than last year.
All right.
I'm trying to be...
What if you lose your life? Because that's looking like it might be the outcome here for casting.
Well, they added Fierce Blood Gold back.
They added Home Guard.
Well, they added Home Guard, so that feels less bad, but he had Teleport anyway. And they added Fierce Blood Gold back, so it does feel worse to die to Fierce Blood. So don't do that.
Well, Zeus, I think, is just going to go for a cheeky recall here.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive, not really a dive, but it kind of Like a little plunge, not a full dive.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just sort of a dip your toes in, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was a little cold, so he got out. And you can't really blame him. It's very cold here in Korea at the moment. We're having a cold snap at this point in time. It was like -15 yesterday. It was way too cold.
Yeah.
As an Australian, I don't even understand what -15 means. That's just silly.
You think it's like Fahrenheit or something. It's not.
No. Well, I mean, isn't Fahrenheit, wouldn't that be way colder?
Yeah, but when you see like, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, you've got 2 Celsius people on the desk here. It's just a little bit difficult for
When
us to
I see a
understand.
number that looks unfamiliar, I'm like, is that Fahrenheit? Or is it Kelvin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my god. There's too many. Why is temperature so hard? I don't really understand. It's all right. Zeus doing it once again. Dash is out of the way of the dash from casting there. Nicely done. He misses the Q there as well. Oh, it's fancy footwork for this Gwen. Zeus just having a pretty good time. All right, snip, snip. And yeah, the Gwen having a really good time in this lane. Already ahead by a couple of waves already. As Roma doing a little bit better this time. But Zeka is very, very good at just staying ahead, even though he's on a melee champion in these mid lane matchups. And that is continuing to be the case as he's now looking for a little bit of a reset. We'll see what he is going to be purchasing, as it was actually evened out quite nicely there from Roma. And he is sticking around in the lane and will be able to go back after this wave if he would like to.
I mean, Akali is just one of those champions where if you do end up going even in the lane and you just buy your first item, which is likely going to be Gunblade, you are just going to be extremely strong.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because, you know, we've seen the top lane Akali and you get XP boosted, which is really nice. But mid lane Akali, you get the super broken boots, which is such an immediate power spike that top lane Akali doesn't have access to. So
yeah, we'll see
Zeka has
which
that to look
boots
forward.
he's going to be purchasing as well. I feel like Merc Treads are pretty valuable.
I don't know, because
Yeah, maybe not.
I get it, but there's not that much magic damage for the shield to be that valuable. And I know the CC prevention is good, but it's like damage, you know?
Yeah, true.
So we could see him just go to Sorks because he just wants to kill people.
See whether that is what he's going to do. As Kanavi now on the Dragon.
Yeah, they have a lot of bot control. You know, I was talking about the bot matchup being maybe difficult to navigate for Teddy and Namgoon, but, you know, Delight hasn't played super aggressive so far in the matchup, and it's really hard to just force pressure as the Lucian Braum when the Sivir has the spell shield to block the passive on here. And if you run at the Alistair, he'll just, like, you jump towards him, he just knocks you away. So, Boom and Delight able just to maintain pressure here, and Zeka now with level 6 is a major threat.
Yeah. So much vision here towards his bottom side of the map as well. Pretty guaranteed Dragon put together here by HLE. And second one going to be an Ocean. Cloud. So unfortunately, no Cloud Soul, but also no Ocean Soul, which feels pretty nice. See what the Soul is actually going to look like as we get a little bit further into the game.
And Casting is really struggling in this top lane matchup. You know,
Yeah,
I was
Zeus
thinking,
is ahead by a lot.
yeah, I was thinking he'd be okay. At least until the Gwen got some items and really started to put the pain on, but he is struggling.
Well, maybe it's about getting to Rookern and then feeling a little bit better when your magic resist has been put together.
Yeah, the
could
big
be a bit of
shield.
an angle. Problem is that I feel like Gwen cuts through tanks so comfortably.
Yeah, and she will hit a point where she's just going to be a menace in the side lane. I didn't see, because he has triple tonic. I didn't see if he went for anything like, I don't think he was going cashback when he was playing other picks. I think he was going Cosmic Insight, so I don't think he has that here. But
either way, he looks like he's putting together a bunch more money than his opposition. Has the largest lead in the game right
a
now.
lot of money already in this matchup.
And Delight hitting level 6, so the Unbreakable Will is going to be there. Both of our AD carries looking for their Essence Reaver. Neither of them hitting it just yet, but I imagine getting fairly close. They're both isolated towards the bottom side of the map. And Teddy holding the wave, making sure that he stays as safe as possible.
I think the game continues at this rate, though. I think HLE are really fine with it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they got Face Dragon. They're looking at getting all 3 grubs here as well. If nothing really happens and the game just plays out, HLE will look to end the series 2-1. You know, I think it's really hard to navigate these fights for Bro from an even playing field.
Yeah, and especially when this Gwen is just getting further and further ahead. Zeka goes into the Shroud. 5-point strike hitting over and over again onto Roma. And at level 8, the Akali is just feeling very, very scary. Level 9, of course, getting all of those points into the queue. Just feel like you can kind of do what you want. And that is kind of looking to be the case here. But Roma is at least completely identical when it comes to farm. I think he's going to be down 1 after the minion wave is going to be taken. And as you can see there, that is indeed the case.
Yeah, that is something we said for the Rise. Like, the actualizer spike we've seen is a little bit insane.
It is kind of bonkers.
Who would have thought that a mana-based item would be good on Rise? That's just so crazy. Who
Not
would have
me.
expected?
No, I don't do much thinking, as we established in the previous game. There's a nice little combo there from casting. But I imagine Zeus not too worried about it. Happy to just stick around in this lane. Doesn't quite have his Riftmaker put together just yet, but he'll be getting pretty close.
Yeah, look how many of the triple tonics we have. If we actually look...
Triple on both sides?
Yeah, we have so many.
Triple tonic.
Wait, Delight even went the triple tonic. He wants that adaptive force.
That's
you know?
crazy. All right, speaking of crazy, some needlework to come on out here as Zeus getting pretty aggressive towards casting, but not going to be killing him just yet.
Their triple tonics before that fight.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, Gideon might have to give up his Raptors here as there are a lot of bad guys in the area. Never mind, smites it away. Going to be able to win out on that battle against Kanavi. That is a little bit of something here for the Bros. I think they're going to have to start finding ways to win skirmishes in this game. Otherwise, like you say, feels like they're just kind of circling the drain already, which is kind of crazy at a game that is, you know, there's 700 gold in it, 10 minutes in, and it's 0-0. Still feels like the Bros are very much on the back foot.
That being said, I do feel like casting's caught up a decent amount in terms of farm.
True.
So, I mean, obviously the lead that Zeus had isn't going to be feel as relevant later, but he was like 20 plus CS down. And after that wave, he's only like 11, so not going as bad. Feels like him getting a bit more MR has helped out a little bit.
Yep. Doing all right. As right now you can see Zeus is still winning in these trades, and Kanavi...
This does not look good for casting's health.
I would say that casting may be in a little bit of trouble. As all right, let's see whether a teleport is going to get... Never mind. That is just a very dead Cassante, and first blood goes over to Zeus.
Kanavi was there, by the way. Definitely
Yes.
contributed to
Yeah, really did great work there.
He was there for moral support, I will say. But a good setup from Delight, and I love just the flash engage to make sure casting can't ult, can't really do anything to outplay. Zeus gets the kill as well, so you know, we saw that gold lead about 400, 500, now almost 1,000 for Zeus in the top lane. He's feeling really good about his position in this game.
Yeah, kind of massive. Now we'll see whether the Bros can actually fire back somewhere. I think some sort of cross map of any kind would feel pretty good, but the Drake is going to spawn. You can see Kanavi in position once again.
And this is the problem, you're into a Sivir, so it's really hard as a Lucian Braum to aggress onto the Sivir who can just shred waves. You know, you throw Winter's Bite, spell shielded, and then what?
Yeah, not sure. As Kanavi going to start this one off, and I don't think that there's going to be too much of a response. We do see a teleport coming in, but it's just Nangun getting back to lane. The rest of the Bros are in the area. And they do spot this out. The Drakes are a little bit tankier than usual. Gumushi is going to be tagged here by the Winter's Bite. The Bros do hold on to this as Zeus comes in, finds that back line. But it is going to be casting, pulling him away. Kanavi locks down the Dragon, but can they win the fight? As the flash out from Gideon is good to keep him alive. And it's a Chemtech Soul. Oh, casting does have the Realm Warp to get out. Roma is going to deliver his top laner to safety. And no casualties, but the Drake secured for HLE, and they're pretty happy about that as Gumayushi does have that spell shield. Headbutt back onto Teddy, who does get pulverized as well. Now Delight in so much trouble, and Teddy just kills him. That is going to be an evening out of these kills. Gideon in the area, so no follow-up. And yeah, just a dead Delight.
I feel like Bro...
Dear.
Oh...
I
feel like Bro are playing
takes him away.
A little bit nervous, and also just very scared of this Gwen already. But I honestly think HLE didn't really play that dragon fight that well. Some kind of flubs. They got the dragon secured, but like I'm pretty sure Kanavi ulted the Wukong clone.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you watch here, he just ults the Wukong clone.
Gets him on top of the dragon though.
Yeah, but it's still like very low value, but Bro just are uninterested in fighting after the dragon's gone. But it's like, you know, I feel like a lot was used by HLE to kind of minimal effect, and Bro just immediately opted out of the fight, so seemed hesitant to continue it after the dragon was gone. And it's like, I understand from one perspective, hey, we don't want to lose the game here, but it's like, I don't think time necessarily favors you.
No.
So, you know, maybe that the play was to make something come from that. When, you know, a Vi's ulting the Wukong clone, maybe you should try and find something. Especially like Lucian Braum, so powerful in the skirmishes. But either way, it is HLE picking up the Dragon. Is a Chemtech Soul, as you said. I think there's some champions in this game who get a good amount of value. Cassante is obviously an example, Gwen an example.
Yep.
But not a soul we love the most.
It is definitely a bit of an Orcs stopped paying attention soul.
I was
so
watching
I just want to say
the Viled. It's, you know.
Yeah. Distracted by Kanavi. You going to blame Kanavi for that one?
Yeah.
That's honestly fair enough.
That's the new thing at the moment. It's just blame Kanavi.
Blame Kanavi?
Yeah.
Everyone just misses Peanut. I don't even think it's necessarily for the video games. I just miss Peanut because he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's all right. Zeus underneath this turret, going to try and defend, but it looks like this is going to be another plate going over to Roma. Picks that one up very nicely. Has a little bit of a gold advantage, as it's only the bottom lane from the Bros that are feeling a little bit better after that kill did just come through. Teddy can be chasing after Gumayushi, but there is a Kanavi in the area, and he does like to fight.
This is one of the great things, though, about playing like a Rukin tank when you have AP solo laners on the other side. It's great into either of them. Like,
It feels good regardless.
Yeah, Zeka's going up against this Rukin Cassante, and just like, what do? I put a full combo into him, and I just about broke the shield.
Yeah. Well, Casting going to be feeling a whole lot better than he was earlier on, and I think he probably deserves it because it was a rough time in the earlier stages of the game. Rift Herald has now spawned. 2 minutes on the Dragon, as now we've got a Realm Warp to come on in. Gideon trying to lock down Zeus here. Will be able to get another knockup. And there it is, Roma coming on down, and Zeus just wants to deal with this wave. He knows that he's very, very dead. But the assist goes over to Roma, and Gideon is going to collect himself the kill as the Rift Herald is going to be secured. Zeka possibly could get aggressive here. Does have some teammates, or at least Kanavi, on that Rift Herald.
So this is probably just going to give up this mid-tier 1. You'd assume with the Herald, it's low enough that they should just be able to charge it down. Question is, can they get mid-tier 1 without using the Herald?
Well, Kanavi is looking for an angle onto Teddy. There's cease and desist, not a clone this time, as he tanks up the turret very comfortably, and they will be able to take it here as there's a stun onto Delight, but I don't think Namgung is going to be able to get too much of anything done. They might even hold on to the Rift Herald as well.
This is exactly the sort of play you love to make, is that, you know, Bro, from their point of view, they're like, okay, they're going to take the Herald, we got the kill, we get the tower, we're okay with that trade. HLE then go aggressive and say, we don't need the Herald to get this tower, and now they're trading massively up because it's a 1-for-1 in terms of kills. It's tower for tower, but I think HLE a lot happier picking up that mid-tier 1 with his position on the map. And you still have the Herald in pocket, so you feel really good about this exchange. You know, Teddy dashing forwards here, using the culling to try and clear the wave, but Kanavi just slips around and gets this great ult angle. And then the problem is, because you're making that play on the bot side, you don't have any backup to kind of help with the situation.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a Ryze who just used his Realm Warp in the bottom lane and doesn't have teleport because everyone takes Ghost these days. So not quite able to get there to add any sort of defense from the mid laner. But this time around, Roma is the only one with a gold advantage, which is a little bit of a change of pace here for the Bros. Teddy hitting level 11, that culling is going to be feeling a little bit more scary as both of our AD carries here in this game have item parity with one another.
Zeka does have the upgraded Sorks, and with the Gunblade completed, he is scary.
Yeah.
That active is going to do a lot of damage, so a little bit concerned if he jumps onto Teddy. Obviously, Roma has the upgraded Merc Tread, so he's not as worried, with Ryze being a fair bit bulkier too.
Feeling a little bit better about that one, but there are 5 plates still up in the mid lane here for HLE. Map control, certainly for them at the moment, as Roma will slink into the fog of war. Has a monkey here towards the south as this Drake is going to get started. That's sole point. I think the Bros probably want to fight for this one. Spell Shield now on cooldown. Maybe an opportunity here as the Bros do move in. There is the engage onto Namgung, but they do have Teddy with the culling. Delight taking a lot of damage as Roma shows up. Teleport in from casting as well. All of the Bros now in position. Namgung flashing away here as Kanavi Does go into the Rift Herald, and that's a triple knockup from Delight. Flash out from Teddy, but I just don't think he's going to survive. You said this Akali was dangerous, and my God, were you correct? As Zeka picks up a triple. Zeus looks for an angle as well as casting flashes away, and I just don't know whether it's going to be enough to keep him alive. Kanavi turns up as well, and of course, he's going underneath this turret. Zeus going to be helping him take down the Cassante, as that's the ace, and it's clean for HLE.
And, you know, we're so used to Herald just being thrown down for a turret, and HLE save it, and Kanavi just drives the team to victory here. This combo with Delight was flawless. Herald gets thrown down here. You see Kanavi charges in, the flash comes out, then he goes back to the Herald. Delight gets his 3-man knockup. Herald comes through and gets 1,
oh my
2,
God.
3,
everyone.
4. Everyone but Casting got knocked up by that, and that was because he was just too far away to do anything.
All right, let's check it out one more time. As Kanavi puts it down and just uses it to. Oh my God.
It's so good. And you know what? This is with this Pro View, we've now seen this played 3 times. I can tell you, we're gonna see this a fourth time in the Mad movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That was so clean from HLE and Kanavi in particular.
And then able to finish off the ace here at the same time. And now the game becomes, I mean, it was already very difficult for the Bros, and it is now next to impossible.
It's just crazy. This is the same team, the same 5 players who lost the previous game.
Yeah, it's funny how it kind of goes that way.
Yeah.
That's why best of 3s are important, Orcs.
Yeah.
Because sometimes one game does not tell the whole story. As Romer at least does have his Seraphs now complete, so the first 2 items are now done. He can build towards the fun one now. Don't know whether it's going to be enough.
That is a steep gold graph.
Yeah, that's a drop-off. I'm going to call that a drop-off. And the worst part is, it just doesn't get better from here for the Bros, right? It's not like, oh, we'll scale. No, that you don't, though.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, is that, you know, your 2 major carries in the Ryze and the Lucian are short-ranged, and you have this kind of demonic Gwen and Akali you're going to target them. They're just doing the Baron.
Yeah, they are. They're just
care.
on it. And they are going to get vision. This Baron takes a while to go down. As, yep, they're looking to try and turn. Zeka makes his way in, Shadow Flame in hand, as now Romer is in a lot of trouble. He gets into the mist. I don't know about this one, though, as now Zeka possibly in an awkward spot. Casting gets himself out of there nicely, as HLE kind of routed in that choke point. They will just back away. So the Bros playing it defensively, playing it all right, but in the end, not a whole lot to be gained.
But also respect to HLE for not just throwing the game away.
True.
Maybe thinking back to the fact that they are 0-2, you know? I mean, if you just kind of, if you're, you know, you talked about this earlier, if you watched game 1 of their series against T1, and then you fell asleep and you woke up now and just saw the start of this game, you'd be like, wow, they're playing so well. There's been a lot in between, a lot of that has made them maybe doubt their own ability to close out games, and I think showing some restraint right now is absolutely what we need from HLE.
Absolutely.
They don't need to rush this one.
Well, we'll just see, because they are moving back towards the Baron, which is ominous. I'm going to connect the Winter's Bite, as Teddy really just hasn't been able to do anything this game on this Lucian.
If you don't make anything from the Baron, you have Dragon in 2 minutes at his soul. Oh.
Okay, looking for the angle here as they pull Zeus in. He goes into the mist, but I mean, you mentioned short-range carries. That is precisely what's here waiting for him, but he's doing a lot of work. Seraph Shield going to be able to save Romer for the moment, but it's Casting that gets the kill, his first of the game.
Yeah, a lot of damage to him in return, but it's very hard in that 1v2 against 2 bulky targets to cut through them quick enough, especially as that Ryze has the magic shield on those upgraded Merc Treads. So
yeah, true.
I think with that happening, HLE aren't going to be able to make anything for the Baron. It's already a long shot with how tanky it is, and they will just have to set their sights on the Soul. There's a nice trap here from Casting. CC comes in, and again, Casting's just a bit too tanky, but the damage on a Romer as well, he's also quite bulky. And the Seraph Shield, also hard to cut through.
Yeah, this is the thing. He's got the Merc Treads as well as the Seraph Shield. I mean, even if you get him low, he's pretty healthy.
Yeah, so now looking towards this Dragon in a minute. I think Soul, especially for things like the Gwen and the Akali, just really would make it very difficult. I mean, they're already at such a disadvantage. I think Bro are going to have to try and find an angle in this fight. And ultimately, I think it's someone from HLE overstepping and then just kind of blowing them up. If you catch like the right CC angle, if casting drags someone away, if Roma gets a good route, that's what we're looking at. It's kind of hard to engage in return because if you dive in, Zeus and Zeka will just get on your backline in return.
Well, now we've got an engage as Delight down to 50%. There is Kanavi going in. He looks for Gideon, but the Cyclone is going to be there, and Kanavi's just dead. Casting has found Zeka as well, taking him out of the fight. Is now Zeus just taking matters into his own hands. The needlework is deadly, and Roma is just taken down. HLE answer quite nicely, but it's a 1-for-1 for the moment. They're trying to turn this into a siege now, but Casting in that front line, making things happen. Gideon looking a little bit low, now just on his Gromp, now looking for a reset. As HLE, they do manage to find the good angle. And Bro at least do manage to kill Kanavi.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Kanavi dives in, ends up getting turned around on by Bro, but Zeus just hit that point on Gwen. He's just a raid boss. And now HLE just going to be able to pick up the Dragon uncontested.
Wow.
Taking down the opposing team's mid laner.
It's just a freebie. Bro just without any vision whatsoever. So that is going to be free Chemtech Soul. Megacone just taken off the map there by Zeus just to make sure. So let's have a look at this fight one more time.
Yeah, so the engage comes on to Gideon. Ult to follow him, and he's just kind of stuck in the mixer. I assume actually he does get his W down on the back end. I think it might have been on cooldown earlier, but then Roma just gets absolutely massacred. Zeus does so much damage here.
Minced him.
Yeah. Zeus is very scary at this point.
Yep, that was pretty obscene amounts of damage from the Gwen. And so the Bros now have to contend with a Gwen that has a Chemtech Soul, as well as this Akali. Wasn't quite able to get much done there as Casting did hold him at bay. And Teddy needed to detour the build, right? He's got a more of Malmortius now complete, but Gumayushi, he's built the armor penetration. He has the Lord Doms.
Oh man, it feels so bad when you have to do this with your build because it delays your pen, it delays your IE, right? You look at Gumayushi's build, he's actually nearly got his Infinity Edge.
It's a very scary moment. And it's perfect for like damage. Like that's exactly what you want to be doing as the Sivir.
Also, I mean, Teddy finished his plated steel caps, and I mean, I guess I understand like the Sivir's doing a good amount of damage, but also, you know, Gumayushi's just going bootless. He's got the boots.
Yeah, he's got the brown bags.
But he's like, you know, I'm doing enough.
Yeah, he's got this fancy quest backpack, and he just puts, like, the brown bags in it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? You don't get any cash back from finishing your boots. That's the logic.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, being financially efficient here. You also have Roma. He's got Oblivion Orb, right? So the Actualizer is not actualizing into his inventory.
No, and it's looking like an Oblivious Orb for now. Never mind. They do scope out that this Baron is going down. Kanavi the only one there, so I don't think they're going to stay on it, as never mind. Zeus just dashes back in. Wait a second. Bros, you have to make sure that they're not still on it. You don't want to be backing now, Roma. Okay.
It is gone.
It is just gone. Yeah, Gideon not going to be able to get here in time, and that is just a free Baron for HLE. Yeah, Bros caught napping here just a little bit. Okay, do you know what it is for the Bros?
What?
I've figured it out.
Yeah.
We are just flipping Elder.
Yeah, that's an
it.
angle. That's certainly something you can do.
That's what they're going to go for.
3.5 minutes.
I don't know whether it's a good idea, because they're now down 7,000 gold, and they're going to lose a whole bunch of their base.
It might be the only idea at this point of the game. I want to notice that Zeus now has a Void Staff as well, so all that MR everyone's building, not going to feel as good.
I mean, at least there are 2 MR items on casting, with the Spirit Visage now completed as well.
Well, then the Void Staff is getting
no,
a lot of value.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, percentage is pretty good.
Yeah, feels not as great. Probably could have gone for a Warmogs. Okay, Zeus is going to kill Roma. But what can they actually get out of it? Let's see whether he can get the Realm Warp off. He should be able to. Not a lot of CC there for the Gwen. So there he goes.
He's out, but the rest of the team are not out of the base. They are kind of just trapped here. And Guma just shreds the wave and keeps pushing the minions in. So hard to find an engage angle unless like Gideon's flashing in. And again, all summoners apart from Zeus' flash available. And Zeus is not an easy target to get onto. Kanavi just picked up GA, which I think is an item he should honestly spawn in with based on how he plays.
Yes. We're going to call that the Kanavi item.
Yeah, absolutely. IE now for Guma. Zeka's going to have his Void Staff soon. it's looking a little bit rough.
It's not looking very bro-sided. However, the bros thrive in adversity. And this is a lot of adversity.
They really do.
That they're dealing with right now. So maybe this is going to be prime bro that we're going to see, as Zeus is immune. There's a flash pulverized that comes on through here as the flash out from Romo. He does have the shield burst. Don't know whether it's going to be enough. Cease and desist comes in. They're underneath inhibitor turrets, but it just doesn't seem to matter here for HLE as casting gets cut down. And there's some funny business with this monkey, but Gumayushi is underneath the Nexus turrets and doesn't seem to care too much. Flash forward from Kanavi,
yes,
and he may just die. Yeah, he is going to be
That's why he has the GA.
Yeah, they are still going to win the game, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't really matter here that Kanavi is doing some funny business as the Nexus turrets will go down, and HLE, Pro made them work for it, but they are going to win this one in the end and pick up their first match win of the LCK Cup for 2026.
Well, I think Game 3 was definitely the most convincing of the series, and I think more of the form we typically expect from HLE. But this was certainly a battle, and this was Bro not giving over an easy series win for HLE, but they do manage to claim that first. Not a sentence I'd expect to say at this point in the LCK Cup, but it was a needed win. Still things to work on, still things to look back on, I feel like, for this team. But if they play like they did in that third game more consistently, we know what this team can do. Just needs more refinement, needs more work still. And maybe that early GA buy from Kanavi might be the play.
First item GA.
Yeah.
That might be the way to do it as POM. And you need to make a comment.
I've done my POM already.
And have you done a comment yet?
No.
Because I don't know who I would have voted for if I had a vote.
I was pretty ready on my vote.
Was it just Delight?
No.
For being cool?
He is very cool. But no, it wasn't my comment.
Was it just Zeus?
No.
Oh. It was Zeka?
Yes, it was.
Wow! I was not expecting that. Zeka hasn't had the greatest of times so far in the LCK Cup.
In the LCK Cup.
But I can see it.
But if you think about it, right, I think in the Azir game, there was honestly some decent moments, but the Aurora game, and the Akali game was good. In the Aurora game, he was by far the best player.
I would say probably the most consistent here on HLE.
Yeah. I think Zeus,
I respect that. I think that's a good call.
I think Zeus is a good vote as well. I don't think Zeus is a bad vote. And I think, honestly, he'll probably get a good amount. Like the Gnar moment and the Gwen in general. So I think it'll probably, in my opinion, be split between those. Although whenever I say that, it'll undoubtedly be just everyone's Zeus.
It's okay. If you've got a really good comment, you can vote for anyone.
Yeah. But
that's the beauty. That's why it sucks to be media, because they don't get to comment.
I think Zeka's had a good series. I think it is probably only those two, though, for the most part, I expect to see getting votes.
Yeah.
I think the others, I mean, it was a very back-and-forth series. I just think there was just some questionable moments all over the place, but I think Zeus was monstrous on the Gwen, and that team fight ending moment on the Gnar was pretty big, so I think, honestly, if you vote for him, it's pretty understandable.
I think Zeka as well, though. Like you say, I think he needed some redemption. And manages to find it here on the Akali. Dives on in towards this backline, but honestly, his previous team fight where they managed to pick out that ace, when he went in, like, what, 0-0-0 and came out with the killing spree, that was where the game was basically decided and looked pretty good. As, unfortunately for, Kanavi doesn't actually win the 1v1 there, but had a GA and also had the rest of his team ready to win the game regardless. But I don't know whether there's going to be too many celebrations in the HLE camp after today, right? I still think that this was not the level of play that we were expecting from this squad. Definitely levels of damage that we were expecting from Zeus in a game like this. But I think there is still a lot for them to figure out with this new look HLE and just try and work out what their identity is now that it's Gumayushi and Kanavi on the roster instead of Viper and Peanut. As Zeka will pick it up. 6-4-9. The most impressive performance, honestly, was in the loss, as his Aurora going 6-1-3. He was deathless throughout so much of the game, and incredibly, incredibly dominant But man, I'm expecting that there are going to be a few of the Zeus votes, but I'm glad to see Zeka back in form once again after a rough week 1.
Yeah, I think he obviously I voted for him. I definitely think he deserved to win, but I think Zeus also had some great moments. So
yeah.
I think the double Z bot lane, double Z solo lane, sorry, not bot lane, had a pretty good series. So
yeah.
I think those two both expect to see a spread of votes for either of them. But I think, as you said, you know, even though this series was a bit rough, and I think there'll be some reflection on it, I think you take the win, right? You know, even though it's not the cleanest series, even though against a team like Bro, you maybe hope it'd be cleaner, you got your first win. Just keep focusing on that. And
yeah.
It's going to take time to develop the same level of synergy as you had with Peanut. It's okay to take some stumbles on the way.
Yeah, and it's not even a stumble. Outcome-focused assessment.
There you go.
That is what Daniel Orks Harrison coined many moons ago. And that is still ringing true here today. And the outcome was...
You won.
A big win.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's...
And you know what? Last year, LCK Cup, Bro beat Gen G. So,
exactly.
You know, not to be underestimated.
Yep, this is it's a very deadly team, even though they have changed almost every single player. In fact, they have changed every player.
Every single player.
Teddy is back, though, so I guess it's like sort of like half of a change. It feels like, you know, Teddy is sort of back to his roots on the Umpty team. Okay, well, it is going to be now time to have a chat to the Super Soldier, so let's throw it over to the interview with Zeka.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Seer for the POM interview translation, joined by Zeka on the side of Hana Life Esports. Hana has finally secured their first win. How do you feel? First of all, this is our first victory. Feels great. I think it's amazing. Well, with the losses in week 1, you guys must have had a lot of feedback and team discussions. So as a team, what topic did you guys discuss the most? In week 1, all the games that we had played out, looking back, we had a lot of moments where we had the edge. But I think we weren't able to capitalize off of the timers that we were able to utilize to actually turn it into a win. To talk about game 1, the enemy had the Orianna Nocturne comp. Despite this insane comp, you were able to go ahead and secure that win. But what was the overall feedback? And I think, yeah, we had a big advantage in game 1. And despite that, we were actually running into a lot of different incidents, but we kept our focus in the game and were able to close it out with a victory. And what was the feedback like after game 2 with your Aurora, who was actually super ahead? Yeah, I was pretty fed, but I think our whole team was very behind, so I think we were really relying on my QE. I think we weren't really able to find a good angle to really win a team fight. That's why it ended up being a loss. And in game 3, your team actually took Gwen and Akali. So what was your reaction when both of those champions were open? Yeah, when we played Gwen, we actually considered that the enemy would also be able to pull off a good Akali, so we wanted to take both champions. And it was smooth sailing all the way to the gameplay to the end of the game in game 3. So what was the key concept of that game? I think we really wanted to try to play around the dragon because Akali was just really strong when it comes to just playing around bot's side and just trying to play out all those traits. And you are actually playing alongside someone you've met on big stages, which is Kanavi. So compared to playing against him, how does it feel different? You know, he's actually really extroverted, outgoing, and he's really proactive. Very, very friendly guy. This is your first victory. Your next opponent will be DN Supers. Any predictions? DN Supers. Watching their matches, yesterday they did really well too. So I think we'll actually have to do our best. I think this will be the moment that we have to start, picking ourselves up and then keep our momentum going. And anything you would like to say as the leader of the elder group?
형님들 잘 부탁드립니다.
Well, elder teams, please take care of us.
감사합니다. 네, 승리 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
Thank you very much, and that is the end of the interview with Zeka, and back to the space. Thank you.